beep. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Nerds Are at Law's reaction to the PlayStation 5 reveal or event presentation thingamajig.
Future of gaming.
Yes, the future of gaming right here in front of our faces. Just shapes and pretty colors and ambient noises. The way that Miyamoto intended video games to go. I am...
You have to turn your damn headphones on. I forgot about that. How to do that? There we go. Whew. You are loud as hell. As soon as I flipped it up, I heard ambient noises. Ooh, what's going on here? Well, Jeff.
Ooh.
Where's your hype at?
Pretty high, pretty high. The right people are kind of hyping it up now. Been hyping up at this point that, you know, it's actual cool stuff is going to be shown. You know? Because a lot of the people that, you know, we would follow on Twitter that usually have some kind of insider information, even if they don't know everything is being shown, kind of try to temper expectations somewhat. They haven't really been doing that this time. They've actually been building, like, no, this is going to actually show a lot of shit.
I've seen, yeah, Jason Schreier, like Daniel Ahmad, a bunch of them also doing. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I honestly do think, and it's kind of a dumb, like just falling right into their corporate marketing trap, but like, I really do feel like the silence has kind of made this feel more important. Yeah. Like with how quiet they've been in comparison to Microsoft, it's kind of built up. Like we've been talking about this event for months. Like, oh, it's obviously going to be in March. Okay, well, no, it's obviously going to be in April. No. Well, no, it's clearly going to be in May.
We started in February. No, like, it's obviously going to be in February.
You're right. So we've been self-marketing this for Sony for months now. Like, when's it going to happen? So, I don't know. It's just like a lot has built up. And obviously a lot's riding on this, you know, for this being a new console, especially coming out in such a weird year, obviously. But it is like, should we be concerned about the fact that there are very, 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 very few launches in the past have actually been like impressive?
So, so as far as this presentation goes, it really depends. I mean, yes, that also is a fear that launches are rarely that big. Like, most launches that we remember back more fondly, it's because one game was released, like Breath of the Wild with Switch or Mario 64 with the N64 and stuff like that. It's usually like one game or something, and yeah, it doesn't happen as much anymore. But by the way some people are talking, it seems like this is not going to necessarily be just the launch. Like, these not going to be just the game's day one. This might be going into the first year of the PS5.
I can definitely see that. I mean, most of the games we've been talking about, like, especially when we were like, that was a damn good Sony conference. We're only just now getting those games that we were so impressed about seeing, like, 3 or 4 years ago. So, yeah, we're totally, I think, going to see some things that won't come to fruition until next year at the earliest.
Yeah, and then, you know, when we talk about this stuff, like, I may not show much. We just, for whatever reason, in the mindset of what people are going to be showing here is just launch or maybe launch window. Sony and Microsoft both are probably going to do at some point start doing the thing where they just announce games way far in advance. Which we get in the moment, but could get annoying depending on exactly how they do it. Like, if they dropped here, it'd be hype in the moment, but if they just come out and like, Horizon 2, Spider-Man 2, God of War 2, yeah, and not really show anything of substance for any of those games, like, okay.
It'll feel a little cheap.
Yeah. Which I expect a little cheapness for sure. But a lot of rumors are pointing to big third-party announcements too, and not just Sony first-party stuff, which obviously makes it exciting.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of previous events that we've gone into, I have more of a idea of what I'm going to see. I'm kind of going into this not 100% sure.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's going to be big, and I think I'll see like Horizon 2. But other than that, like, I don't really have too many like specific expectations. Like, I don't know, like, could fucking like Final Fantasy 16 be announced here or something like that? You know, like what direction should I be going with this? I'm really not sure.
I'm kind of thinking we'll get either Resident Evil 8 and or Silent Hill here. There are a bunch of rumors for both. And
Resident Evil 8 or what now? I'm sorry.
Silent Hill.
But yeah, but again, how much of that is just the internet won't shut up about it? So it's,
yeah.
You know?
I mean, if we get out of this without either of them, I'm not gonna be like, "Whoa, that is surprising" or necessarily disappointed. It's gonna be, I'm thinking. I feel like there's more than a decent chance we get one, if not maybe both of them.
I expect RE8 more just because we know that's a game.
Yeah.
We like Silent Hill, we've never gotten an actual thing, you know. And
Silent Hill is definitely more people, just the rumors and people just kind of going off.
And there's been multiple rumors that were proven to be fake.
Yeah.
That's happened several times with Silent Hill at this point.
Yeah. And like you said, we all know Resident Evil 8's a thing. We have no doubt in our minds that's a game that's probably coming out at the beginning of next year.
Yeah.
So timing wise, it makes sense to potentially be in this presentation. And if Capcom wanted to announce it around now in a presentation, there is no other presentation to show it. And Sony's not going to say no to showing a next-gen Resident Evil game.
No.
Even if it is cross-gen, they're not going to say no to that.
No, 100%.
But something I just want people, I know people need to get Elden Ring out of their mind.
Yeah.
Or I know it's too late to say that now, but they need to.
I've still seen way too many people as of like this morning talking about, oh, you think Elden Ring? I'm like, no, they pretty much straight up. It's been like confirmed almost that it's not, it's.
Well, plus I think the simple thing people are forgetting and stuff can change. Microsoft seems to have the marketing rights.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be here, even if it is showed this summer. Not to say we can't get any FromSoft stuff. Like, I'm expecting that Demon's Souls remake.
Yeah. But not that specific one, most likely. And, again, all signs point to that's not until, like, deeper into next year at earliest. Because I really do think that was one of the kind of few times that I think they announced that super duper early, probably partially because of the George R. R. Martin thing. They wanted to have that stinger, at the end there.
I think I know one game that we show here, Darby. A game that leaked last night. Nickelodeon Kart Racing 2.
Hell yeah, dude. Let's go.
Funny thing about that is I'll bring up partly on the podcast as a quick headline, depending as it's partly a joke. Is there immediately there are only a dozen characters from 4 different series in the last game? Hey, 30 to 40 characters, 70 guests or whatever. And something that perked my ears up when I saw the cover was Korra from The Legend of Korra on there. It's
nice. I mean,
still not getting that.
That's one of those things. Obviously, if the game was good, I love a lot of those characters. So, obviously, I would be here if it's good. But I'm assuming that the original was probably trash.
No, it wasn't great.
Yeah.
But if I heard, depending on the roster, and if I heard the game was decent or whatever, I'd we could look into it.
There's a ton of nostalgia there.
Yeah.
I want Drake and Josh as a kart racer.
So
one of the people.
So potentially to add on to the possibility of that, Darby, they do have a live action girl from, I guess, a newer show on the cover.
Nice.
So I guess Drake and Josh are not out of the running.
I just want a video game trailer where Drake and Josh are the One More Thing.
Yeah.
They show the title and it comes back in. This is Drake and Josh. That's what I need in my life.
But all right, you know what the One More Thing needs to be here? PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale 2, baby.
I'm just warning you, audience, if that happens, there's going to be a lot of audio peaking. There's going to be a lot. We'll have to deal with. There's no one else in this house. We'll yell enough that our neighbors will hear us, but that's about the most we have to worry about. Yeah, there'll be some screaming if that happens.
Yeah, baby.
Jeff, what is the real, not joke, % chance of not that game being announced? What's the real ass %?
20%, I don't know.
There.
Somewhere around there.
Dude, that's decently high. Yeah,
maybe, I don't know.
We're throwing neck a bone. I think Mike Cerny has some he's a genius and he's I'm only gonna stay with this company if you let me keep making that games. So it's all right, fine, Mike, fine. Keep making.
Plus, it's a weird marketing thing. If they somehow change the way Knack plays and make it something just really good, I could see it sell it just based on it being a good game and the meme.
Yeah, I mean, 3D platformers are not bad in here. I mean, it's not even a platformer though. It's more of like a beat 'em up. I don't know. Knack is Knack.
Yeah.
Knack's a weird beast.
Knack is Knack.
Knack is Knack.
Knack is love.
Knack is love. That's undisputable. All right. Do you have any kind of wild predictions out there? I mean, what we talked about Final Fantasy 16. Do you think that's an actual possibility?
It's Square, so it could come out 5 years from now. And they could announce it here. It could happen. And
yeah.
You know, it's Square and Sony. Like, they could drop that bomb on us anytime because we know it's the thing that's going to be happening.
Yeah.
So they could drop that anytime, even if it's just a logo.
Do we know if it's like? Do we know if any specific project that like the Final Fantasy 15 dev studio is doing? Like they weren't behind 7 remake, right?
I think there were some people that they've shared, but
yeah.
I don't. It wasn't the exact team. I don't think.
Yeah. Ooh, we gotta stay tuned there, Jeff. All right, let's let anyone listening to our thing. Let's hear what I noticed. They were playing different music. I think they were playing different music from different PlayStation things.
I'm gonna grab me a Pepsi just to have here.
Now we just got more ambient noises. It's nice. It's peaceful.
Also kind of exciting is you have to think, whether it's big or small, we get at least one Sony new IP announcement, right?
I would think so.
Again, it doesn't have to be a big AAA thing, but you gotta at least think we get one from them.
Sorry, just doing some more.
All good.
Yeah, I just think, I mean, I know everyone says Horizon 2. I mean, I just think that's the most obvious thing, timing-wise. And if Sony was wanting to make a point of having one of their big, like, franchises or whatever be there at launch, I think Horizon's really the only answer that's possible outside of something brand new. But there's not even really any other major Sony first-party studio that's unaccounted for. Like, the rest of them are not going to be ready. Like, Insomniac's not going to be ready with Spider-Man 2 for launch. God of War 2 is not going to be ready.
Yeah.
Obviously, Naughty Dog's about the
So,
it's like,
throw it out there. Ratchet and Clank?
I do.
Insomniac, I think, has multiple teams, so...
Yeah. I think that's kind of more of an outside shot that I think could happen. You know, like, it's not super far outside. It's just like they've never really mentioned Ratchet and Clank again and everything. But that doesn't mean that they didn't start working on it.
Yeah.
I mean, that game was in 2016, right?
Yeah.
So like,
that makes sense. Like, if they had someone kind of working on it since then,
they could have that ready this year if they actually started working on it shortly after. I definitely wouldn't like put my money on it, but I do think that's a possibility. Do you think, how sure do you feel about seeing like Horizon 2?
Part of it is that's a very obvious thing, but it's also one of those things that now everyone's so latched onto. It's making me doubt it because it's just like one of those things.
Kind of. I still think it's going to happen.
Let me put it this way: I feel more confident about us just seeing it in general than it being a launch title, like everyone, like even we have kind of predicted. Because I think it's far enough along, assuming they start on it pretty quickly, that it's at least far enough along to show.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they definitely started working on that thing immediately after the DLC, probably before the DLC released. And there was even like Janina Gavankar, like freaking 2 years ago, said let it slip. She's in the game, and they was talking about it. I mean, that game's been happening for a while, and I would imagine that even if it's not going to be at launch, it was supposed to be. You know, the timing just works too well.
Change, yeah.
Either way, I definitely see that game being a PS5 exclusive.
No,
to try to sell systems.
Oh yeah. I think Sony's going to, maybe besides a couple titles, maybe smaller ones. I expect their major ones they announce here will probably be PS5 only, which is fine.
Yeah,
they don't need to go the Microsoft
or just next gen only. Yeah. I wonder if they do
4
announce
o'clock?
something like Final Fantasy 16, is that going to be next gen exclusive? You know, it'll probably come out so long from now that probably so.
I would assume so, unless it's a much quicker turnaround than any big Final Fantasy in a long time.
I hope if they do announce that game, I hope it's something I'm interested in. You know, I'm not super interested in 15. Didn't love that one. Alright, it's about time to put on the real headset, but not really for me because I'm going to have to test to make sure that Sony's audio doesn't just go super far up. Their ambient sounds sound pretty good with our talking right now.
Start the damn stream. I paid good money for this. Oh, here we go.
All right. Oh no, mature content, Jeff. Portal.
I was about to make a Portal joke.
Sorry, Jeff, I'll flip it to full screen just a minute. Are they about to show the box, you think? Or
It's just getting
a
the
cool
symbols
logo
out.
there?
It could lead to it for
But
sure.
yeah, I feel like it could lead to it. I feel like they're showing like the color scheme. This is like the dual sense color scheme in a way, like the white being predominant. I kind of feel like they might be.
Also, people don't expect a price here. People are feel like that's a confirmed thing. It could happen. Don't expect it.
The box is actually a floating symbols.
The future, man. Sony did it.
You ever wonder, like,
We're
different
going
choices,
through history.
how we might have ended up?
This is where Knack reveals himself.
Yeah, probably somewhere in that.
They're just replaying the PS4 announcement thing.
Okay.
I'm not seeing Knack.
What?
You, me, together, we were destined for something great.
Ooh, a girl cat.
How's Knack not in this? What is this garbage?
Garbage. All right, we're cutting straight.
That anime Final Fantasy VII garbage was in that.
Yeah, we're cutting straight.
Why did I move here? I guess it was the weather. Or the... I don't know, that thing. That
Okay, it's
magic.
GTA 5.
Yeah, PS... What?
I thought we was trying to get out of this bullshit. You sounding more and more like a snee-eye itch every day.
How many hearts just dropped for a second when they saw a Rockstar logo?
My score, get your own.
This better not be indicative.
Yeah, already you have a PS4 logo. Are they about to show like the Switch to PS5? I guess. Probably.
We out here gangbanging like it's 91.
But it's still kind of weird to be promoting it with GTA 5.
We all love banks. Get me a DJ. Give me a hand with these bodies.
This cannot be traced back to me.
All right, hey Jeff, I'm gonna talk over the GTA 5. It's still going on. It's gonna go for just as long in the PS5 when they switch it. So get ready. We're gonna play the exact same trailer again on the PS5.
So now
This scares me a little, Darby.
What was the point in showing just the PS4 footage?
No, that's coming. So like, look at all this. It'll look better on PS5.
You're not showing us it looking better right now.
PS5 owners will get GTA Online free at launch. Okay.
Or GTA Online, so it's separate. Okay, maybe that's a big deal to a lot of other people getting 1 million GTA cash. I don't know. Now the music kind of sounds a lot louder than us, so.
I guess depending where they go here, I guess it makes sense to get like a port thing out of the way first.
Yeah, hopefully it's just not indicative. If it's indicative, then we might have a problem.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lose. I'm not going to overreact yet.
It was great to kick today
Hey,
off
Jim.
and look back at just some of the seminal moments of the last 25 years. And what better way to bridge our past and our future than with a game that's graced every PlayStation console, Grand Theft Auto. It's been a privilege partnering with Rockstar Games for many years now, and we're thrilled to open today with the news that that partnership will continue with PlayStation 5. It's now just over a year since we began sharing technical details of PlayStation 5, but today's the day that we've been looking forward to for years, when we get to show you just some of the games that demonstrate our belief that PlayStation 5 marks the biggest generational transition our industry has yet seen. The content we've curated for today's event showcases how PS5 has inspired developers to create new experiences that are transformative in how
Like
they
how he's
look,
just talking about
sound, and
games. Let's
feel.
go, baby.
Enough from me. We're gonna have the games do our talking.
Yes.
Wise. Yeah, we'll never see another person the whole time. That's fine.
Just trailers. Let's go. Okay.
Is that made a big deal about the Steve?
A hero's just someone who doesn't give up.
Spider-Man.
Your dad said that.
Yep.
He was right.
Yeah.
Miles.
Yep.
Now it's your turn. Go be a hero, Miles.
Okay, let's do this.
Oh yes, great start. Oh my god.
In the snow.
Oh, that
The
outfit.
saw, I'm already getting chills.
Let's go. Miles Morales. Oh,
That's like a subtitle. Wow.
2020. Woo!
How the fuck? What? Is it a full game?
僕らが作っている新しいグランツーリスモの情報をシェアできるということですごく興奮して
Okay, it's Gran Turismo. We get the talk.
これまでのねグランツーリスモの
Yeah, let's slow this down real quick.
If that's the full sequel, how the fuck? How the fuck is that?
It's 3 years, so it's not
Yes.
out of the realm of possibility.
It just feels like it would have been such a big thing that.
It might be like a more in between thing.
Yeah, I mean, like the title simultaneously it could excite me, but it also could mean that it's kind of a side game in a way. You know? I mean, either way, I'm gonna play the shit out of it. I'm so down.
It means we get an in between thing, just kind of more setting up Miles' story going into the official 2.
Yeah, 100%. But I wonder if this is like full on. This is the telling the next chapter of the story, and it is straight up.
That's
like
one of those things.
Or
Like,
is it like
we'll find out in a press release after this for
Yeah.
sure. But now that's a way to start.
Yeah, I mean, from a uniqueness of Spider-Man factor, like them like leaning that hard into Miles Morales is awesome. Like, I mean, that's just there's not enough Miles Morales Spider-Man out there. Like, you're the mainstream, and you know, Into the Spider-Verse showed us like how cool that could be.
Yeah, it's obviously getting more and more, and this is great.
Yeah, and the music with it and the vibe and everything was like really, really good.
Well, that's going to be one of our first games playing on that PS5.
Did not expect holiday 2020. Really did.
I think it was Gran Turismo 7. Okay.
You gotta show off your new console with the driving game. It's just. I mean, even when we realized it was Spider-Man, I'm like, okay. I mean, seeing Spider-Man is not the most surprising thing. It's just like, this is gonna be a year or two out, you know. We're seeing it super early right now, so I was like, it's hype as hell, but it's like, you know, not out of the realm of possibility. The holiday 2020 is not something that I saw anyone really guess that Spider-Man would be one of the.
Again, it's like
games.
a $40 in between shorter thing. Let's go.
Do you think this like takes away any chances of Horizon 2 being shown here for launch? Do you think they would not put both of those on top of each other? Spider-Man
if it's a full game, like if it's technically the full 2, maybe. If it's just like what we're talking about, potential shorter thing, maybe not. It's like, hey, we're just going crazy with this. We're having Horizon 2 and a Spider-Man 1.5.
Yeah, I mean, Spider-Man is obviously would be the bigger system seller. None of us knew that was on the table to be a launch game. Like, obviously, if we thought that was on the table, it's like marketing-wise.
We're PlayStation Studios. Let's go, baby. Okay. Knack. Here we go.
Here we go.
The cartoon.
Show our boy. Show our boy.
Ratchet!
Oh, Ratchet! Hell yeah, let's go. Holy fuck.
Insomniac conference, let's go.
Is he in like BC?
Are collapsing on one another.
He's in a different planet.
Cannot get to right. The ship. I mean, we can't.
Hell yes, dude.
They have found us, Ratchet.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
Man, look at them lighting effects in a Ratchet game.
Oh, shit. Yes!
The dimensions are weakening considerably.
This is fucking dope.
Well, it is certainly not good.
God, yes.
Where are we? It's me.
Yes!
There's so many different settings.
Get off me, ship.
Look at how good it fucking looks.
Ratchet, we are too late. Ratchet?
Who?
Hell yeah! Hell yeah! Alternate timeline shit. Alternate reality shit.
Okay, got no date. Okay.
Whew.
Hi, I'm
Whew,
Marcus,
Jeff.
creative director at Insomniac.
Whew.
The entire studio is so excited to be able to share with you a first ever look at Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, a brand new, full-length, interdimensional adventure built from the ground up for the PlayStation 5.
So
We're doing things we've
PS5
never
only.
been able to
It's
do
cool.
before, like use dimensional rifts to be able to leap from planet to planet.
The
in
lighting
an
and
instant,
stuff
or
in a
put ray
Ratchet
traced
game is
reflections
just
on Clank.
insane.
All of our alien worlds are filled with density and life previously unseen. Plus, Ratchet's all-new arsenal is more exciting than ever thanks to the DualSense controller's enhanced feedback. Ratchet & Clank are near and dear to our hearts at Insomniac, and we can't wait to share more with you in the future.
God, I'm so glad that.
But for now, here's another look.
I'm so
More
glad.
look, let's-
I'm so glad 2016 wasn't a one and done for this. God, I'm so
Okay.
glad.
Did you see that?
Okay, so I wonder after this they would potentially put a release window.
Maybe. Do launch, you crazy people.
Just put a 2021. I'll be happy at this point.
Yeah.
Sand shots from above.
Man, how hard is Insomniac killing it recently?
Oh yeah.
A kraken? Or at least a very large octopus.
It's one of those things that adds to it just because of all the extra people that are around there.
to that. Hey, break reality. Did Dr. Nefarious really resurface after all these years just to try and take over the universe again?
I just love how much straight gameplay this is. This is definitely.
He was doing a great job. He must have more planned than that's what I'm afraid of.
Just doing the whole rip thing of pulling just adds a bunch of movement options to it, potentially.
That's pretty cool.
Some crazy stuff.
And just like how many settings they showed us in that trailer. I wonder if we actually go to all of those, or is that just like them kind of showing a bunch of different,
I imagine you're going to at least them to a good bit, because some of them look pretty open, like there's a good bit of stuff going on. I want to learn more about that lady.
Yeah. Well, and, I mean, but that just seems like a very cool excuse to have a bunch of different, like very different looking areas, not just like space. That was like it had pirate stuff. So,
yeah, awesome.
All right, so
no release date at all, so let's see.
Hell yeah, dude. There's a weird contingent of people that are apparently decently sizable who are like, oh yeah, that game's trash. That 2016 game's really bad.
I've been seeing that more and more lately. I'm like,
what? It was great.
Square.
All right. Hold on to your butt. Find your butt and hold on to it.
Luminous.
That's the new one, isn't it? I think that's the new studio. Lightning.
Ooh-wee.
Some
look pretty.
Old open shit.
Project.
Okay. Anytime it has project on it, they're not thinking anytime soon. But
designed exclusively for PS5.
It does look visually cool.
So Square exclusive.
Visually impressive for sure.
Yeah, they're just like, we're just gonna show you a whole bunch of shit.
Go for it. Oh yeah, treat it like they do their conferences.
Annapurna?
Always have my attention with Annapurna.
RIP humans.
You don't need humans, so we're fine.
No escape.
But cats survived. I'm happy to see the cats survive the apocalypse.
Cats are the cockroaches of the future. They'll survive anything. I think that cat's important.
Or he's just a camera device that takes us through posts. Cybercat. Again, Jeff, everything's cyberpunk.
Yep. I really hope you just play as the cat.
I hope so.
Stray.
I think you do. Maybe you do. I don't know. Alright, we got to see a cool cinematic cyberpunk city. We've seen a whole lot of that. Cyberpunk's lucky it's coming out when it is, because now just everything's cyberpunk. That's what we're here for. Now we got the.
This is where I gotta start timing for the percentage.
The muscle stretching for all the.
Yeah, this is when I gotta start timing for that percentage for how much is actually like spec or whatever, that kind of talk.
Ray tracing, Jeff.
Oh boy.
Look at them particles.
I wanna go back to the games.
This is a game. He plays the controller.
Okay. This presentation made in dreams.
That would be great.
On the PS5.
That would be hilarious.
What if that was the closer?
That would be crazy. We made this entire presentation in dreams. Okay. It's gonna be weird if that's their only like hardware thing. It's just like we're just gonna take like 10 seconds to brag, or take a minute to
about
brag.
the stuff we already told you.
Games used to be about these constant trade-offs between the artistic vision and technical limitations. With PS5, we're not gonna be burdened like that. We're gonna be able to realize our artistic vision a lot better.
Only 20 minutes in.
It's got a ton of horsepower, which is very easy to unlock, and it's a machine that's really easy to develop on. The PS5 will present a paradigm shift as to what players will come to expect from gaming. Will let us tell stories, make worlds, create gameplay that I think will truly captivate the player and really surprise quite a few people. Please take a look at this new
Until 7
franchise
years from now when it's outdated.
Exclusively
Wait,
for PlayStation
what studios?
5.
Sorry.
How smart. I said PlayStation Studios.
Over and over, I relive my first moments on this alien planet. The crash. The attack. My death. The crash. The attack. My death. Trapped in this endless cycle. Even death is no escape. Each time I awake, this planet seems somehow different. As if changing. This world.
Space horror Groundhog Day.
Yep.
Infecting my mind. My memories. The longer I spend here, the more I can feel my sanity slip away. But I cannot lose hope.
This Bloodborne 2?
My only choice is to keep fighting.
It is kind of bizarre. It's the team that made Resogun.
My only hope is to break the cycle. Before the cycle breaks me.
This is a natural evolution, though, Darby.
Yeah.
Returnal.
Yeah, didn't they make a battle royale or some type of thing that just didn't work?
Yeah.
So I guess this is what they transitioned to. I mean, it was a cool trailer. Definitely cool setup. I mean, they did that whole dramatic arcade is dead thing. They're like, we moving on to new types of games.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Sumo.
Don't remember what they do.
They make Garfield games.
Who is this mascot and why isn't it Sly? Don't make a new mascot. I'm just kidding. You can make a new mascot, but this looks terrifying.
Sackboy.
Yep. It's been a minute since
Sackboy, Big Adventure.
Okay.
Okay.
Been a while since a Little Big Planet.
We're gonna have to look up. I have trouble remembering what Sumo did too.
It might have been though. Looks like Yoshi Yarn game.
You know that
But
shit's
obviously like way more advanced visually.
You know, that's my type of shit.
Yeah, it was fun.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm surprised this kind of game hasn't happened sooner.
Yeah, okay, it's weird. Sackboy was like their mascot in the PS3, but he completely skipped the PS4, right?
Little Big Planet 4 or whatever came out like at the very beginning, or is it Little Big Planet 3? Little Big Planet 3, and then yeah, after that, it didn't do as well.
Well, Sony just, I mean,
and it's co-op, which is neat.
I'll give it to Sony. You know, we did all that criticism on the podcast a few weeks ago about, you know, all their games are just third-person action games. I am happy that, so, you know, we have Ratchet and this at least so far in this, which is nice, you know. This is definitely a different type of Sony.
So they're killing it so far, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, this straight up looks like a Nintendo game with awesome lighting.
Yeah.
Like, super impressive lighting.
No, this speaks to me. And it's not called Little Big Planet, it's just Sackboy. They think, like...
I wonder if they're just, like, ditching the Little Big Planet, just want you to remember Sackboy. Like,
yeah, because he's strong enough to mascot on his own.
Some racing game. Actual.
Well, there's just Naruto ran for a second. Let's go. You know that means it's gonna be a good game.
Okay, it is. It is cars. So I was like, are they gonna be running on foot? What is this? Destruction Derby game? I played back in the PS2. I played the Destruction Derby game that was probably absolute trash, and I played it a lot. That's kind of what this looks like. Just
looks like dumb fun.
Yeah. It looks like I have super high res.
Oh, this is a free-to-play game that will do for that Easy Allies bet.
Yeah. Looking in particles and shit. I think it pretty much is a Destruction Derby game.
Destruction All-Stars.
Yep, so it's close. I wonder if it's like the same studio or something that the whole Destruction Derby is.
Hello everyone, my name is Josh Greer and this is my brother Mike. We're from Ember Lab, a small team with a background in film and animation.
And we're very excited today to share with you the first look at our new game. It's a story full of adventure and charm that has themes in personal growth and redemption. So please enjoy.
They're so tiny.
Can't wait for them to get brutally murdered.
Yep, everything's too cute, Jeff. There's gonna be a turn.
I know you are kind. You sense the power that flows through this land. Yet you do not fully understand it. Driven by the belief that you can help these troubled spirits.
Knack?
What if this was Knack?
Weakness from me. You have no power here.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, this is awesome. I love the art style. It's like
I was really curious to see what it looks in the actual gameplay.
This freaking straight up looks like a Pixar movie. It's insanity. Got some like Ori music going on here.
Yeah.
She just looks like a movie. This is insane.
I guess from my understanding, it's supposed to be a smaller team.
I wonder if this is Unreal 5. It kind of looks like it.
Yeah, I guess might hear more about those, or we pay attention to sometimes at the end where they say the name with all the little credit stuff. We might see it.
Even the Unreal 5 is not really public yet, so probably not.
Yeah, can't know.
Yeah, definitely looks. I love that art style. I love that like multiple games I feel like have done a good job so far of like mixing super realistic effects and stuff, but also keeping the art style type of thing. It's not just all everything doesn't just look straight up brutal realistic.
Except this though.
Yeah.
Is this that monster dating
feel
game?
Like you're just waiting for a sign. To do that thing you've always meant to do.
It would look like it, probably.
But now it's a dinosaur dating game.
Sometimes I feel like I'm just standing on the edge of doing great things. But something's holding me back. Maybe it's just nerves. Maybe it's the fear that I'll never be as good as what I imagine when I'm still just standing on the edge. But if we've got nothing else to lose, might as well jump.
I love the art style, and I can be a big old sucker for some like teenage romance things or really high school things like that if it's done really well.
Yeah.
So, I like the art style a lot.
It's curious to see like the way the actual in-game stuff looked. Was curious if they were going to go into that a little bit.
I am interested.
Unless that is what it looks like.
I just assume that's kind of what it looks like. I mean,
I kind of thought so too. The way they did it, I just
yeah.
wanted like to see the confirmation.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Lorne Lanning, and I'm here to share with you a game that I've been dying to make. It's an emotionally engaging story where rescuing is rewarding, failure is devastatingly hilarious.
Jeff, that has to be the ending zinger.
Right.
You are no longer a slave, Abe.
Abe's on C9.
They believed, trusted.
I feel like it's one of those games where, I mean, not to knock against it, that, it's just always kind of been around, but I feel like I don't hear people talking about it that much.
Yeah, not really.
Though, Abe was almost in PlayStation All-Stars as a DLC character before he got cut.
It should have been before Zeus.
Is up to you.
Tower defense game.
I didn't know. Are they normally this like emotional or something? I thought it was kind of like a funny game. I mean, the guy did just say "holy shit" in kind of a funny way, so maybe it's a mix. This is definitely predominantly serious vibe.
You must find your full voice.
Soul Storm.
It's just like the characters versus the seriousness of the tone seem off.
PlayStation 5によって我々の考える東京のビジュアルを実現できました。今まで見たことのない東京の魅力を見て、聞いて、感じることができます。これからお見せするのはゴーストライダー東京の
Isn't this the
世界初のゲームプレイ動画です。スーパーナチュラルミステリアスな東京、
Humor is freaking out.
I mean, that trailer that was super good at the Bethesda thing, it was just like obviously a cinematic thing. We no clue.
You see things others can't. Hear threats others don't.
It already looks like a Jacob game to me.
Hell yeah.
Fight when others won't. It's up to you to save Tokyo.
First.
Okay, so it's first person. Yeah.
Okay.
So it was like predominantly like fist and magic combat. Face off.
Face the unknown, Darby.
Nah, it's a face off there.
Okay. Neat.
Definitely neat.
2021.
Certainly neat. That gets the stamp. Neat. Alright. How far are we in?
About close to 40 minutes, 37 minutes. Supposed to be a little over an hour. Still don't know how much. Finally, Mac.
They all like make sacrifices in the circle and summon them. These hands. Do you know what I've done with these hands? Is this Death Stranding? Powered by dreams.
Year 0.
I'm ascending.
You must ascend. Man, it takes 3 years to get that far away from the
we
planet.
will become
Dang.
as gods. Yeah, you know, space takes a long time, Jeff. Let's go. Whoa. You gotta make sure that the pipe was trying to do.
I don't know.
Sorry, everybody. I'm gonna mute this mic and you can talk with my mic while I try to fix it.
Mess everything up. Godfall? This is a good game for you. I knew this was gonna be here. Not exactly the music choice I expect for this game.
now. You can't hold me down. So give me the crown. Wait for the king. We're not the same. We're not the same. We're not the same. We run everything. We're not the same. We're not the same. They ain't got us running through these things. Make way for the king.
Holiday 2020. That's the big launch game, Godfall. More Annapurna. For the creators of Hyper Light Drifter. Forgive me, sir. I have sinned.
Huh?
I messed everything up. I'm sorry. You missed Godfall.
I'll try to. Yeah, I'll never forgive you for that.
Two Annapurna games in one show. Okay, okay. Solar Ash.
Ash. So this is where Ash Ketchum went.
Yes, that's where he was born. 2021.
Do you think all these little interstitials are leading to them showing the box? I mean, I didn't expect them to show the box today, but I didn't think it was out of the question, though. But I don't know.
I don't know.
They might just be weird interstitials. Hitman.
Looks like it.
It's Hitman.
Yeah.
John C. Hitman.
It was always gonna end like this. All your hard work, all your sacrifice, only sped up the process.
I don't know, there's too much story for Hitman.
Now, you find yourself alone.
Is that Gordon Freeman or something? It looked like Gordon Freeman. I was like, what the fuck?
What a twist.
It just looks like a real person. It's insane.
Only death awaits.
Hitman Triss.
January. That was the first one we actually got an actual, at least a month for.
That was nice, yeah. It's practically holiday.
Interactive. In Hitman 3, Agent 47 is back for his most intimate and professional contract in his entire career.
Lots of sex.
This is also the
We both
final
got so much
conclusion
sex.
for the Wall of Assassination trilogy. I'm so proud to be here to present a little glimpse of the gameplay where Agent 47 is on top of the world in Dubai. Enjoy.
Stop winking at me.
Yeah, make me blind. You're like, actually on top of the world.
Yep.
Did you ever play like any more than the little bit I saw you play.
A little bit more.
Not
Obviously not as much as I wanted to, but yeah, I did play some more. Fun stuff.
See the important information, Joe.
Gotta go to the settings menu.
We're gonna see the UI. Oh shit! We see the UI before we see the console.
They're just teasing us.
Yeah, they're just teasing. Yes! But wait, is it a real game? Is it just a normal game? I mean,
it might be.
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, I'm sure they'll still be fun, but it's definitely. Jeff, if you ever wanted confirmation there's not a PSVR 2, you're staring it right in the face. Yeah, yeah, it's 100% just a normal platformer.
Dang it. I'll probably still play it.
It'll still be fun, but it's not going to be the ground.
Astro's Playroom.
That's a bad name. Cause that just sounds like the dumb. I don't like the name. Yeah, I think that was the soft confirmation. No PSVR 2.
Yep. I was so excited. It's like, wait a minute, then he
Yeah.
Shit, we gotta hide the body.
Good God. Okay.
This is the new Monster Hunter game.
Yes. So that was an art style shift. It looked like for a second.
The fuck is that?
We have a carrot on his face.
I think that would be a trunk.
There's a lot of tonal shifts in this.
I'm happy but bummed about the Astro's Playroom.
Again, I'm sure it's gonna be a good game, but it's not gonna be. The whole thing about Astrobot is like it was a game. I had never played a game like that before in my life. This is gonna be a game I've played before. You know, I'm sure it'll be a very good 3D platformer, but
yep.
It's definitely not gonna fill the same void that Astrobot filled.
No, but like, yeah, we'll talk about it later. Game looks neat. Wait, are you inside his body?
Oh my god!
No, I think that was just a gag. Cause
no, it's Osmosis Jones, dude.
Okay. The weird thing where some of the monster designs just like creepy and cool, and then some of them just kind of look very cartoony, kind of weirdish.
Yeah, that's definitely what it's going for.
Little devils. Yeah, you are inside him.
Oh my god, what the hell? I'm interested.
Yeah.
My attention.
I'm almost done with this whole page.
Bizarre.
What's up, everyone? I'm Zion Williamson.
Okay.
New Orleans
Right. We got sports.
First ever teaser for NBA 2K21.
We got a sports section.
Ready for this. Then there was an in-game model.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, definitely is.
I ain't trying to bring you down, but for real, you might as well give up now. Think you got a chance, but I don't see how. Got a real tight grip when I hold that crown. I'm the first one in and the last one out. Whoever owns the place gotta drag me out.
About 4:50. Got at least 10 more minutes.
Look at that sweat. Finally, we beat the basketball goal, Jeff.
Yep.
NBA has destroyed its villain. All hail the gathering of the symbols. Banjo-Kazooie.
Yep.
Let's go.
I mean, googly eyes? This is obviously a rare game. Is that a cheeseburger?
Recently discovered species entirely unique to this island. Oh, this one's lively. Beautiful seed patterns. Oh, and it's tasty too. Welcome to the island of bug snacks.
Okay, that explains everything. Never mind, we're good. Oh, you should have said that more. Listen to the lyrics. It's bug snacks.
Okay, bug snacks. Not a word I have thought of, right? I'm just assuming it's the one word, naturally.
Actually, Jeff, I'm just getting confirmation that no one has ever said the word bug snacks until now.
Okay.
We're the first ones.
Invitation is open. Come join me on the island of bug snacks.
Liz! Hey, I was trying to carry a lamp with my weenie hands, but I dropped it, and now the town's on fire.
Oh, again?
With an X?
Oh, okay.
That's the twist.
I gotta change it for
Yeah, you better scratch that shit out. Is this gonna be a fake out for a different game? No. But I say it doesn't need to be, you know. Stick to your guns, bug snacks. Bug snacks. It's a square, but it has a circle in it. Oh, yeah, that's an arch. What kind of shape we got going on here?
Probably just
a symbol.
Probably just a
Just the, I thought the box was gonna have an arch. What the fuck's going on? Dude, they have way too many like.
Hi everyone.
Shoot.
Thank you for being with us today for this
hell.
very special event. But before we get to the end of the show, I have something very near and dear to me.
PlayStation All-Stars.
Yes.
Or neck. Okay.
It's gonna be one of those games that he worked on or something. God of War?
PlayStation All-Stars.
Please let this lead to PlayStation All-Stars, please. That would be hilarious. Or is it Bloodborne / or Demon Souls? I don't know.
Yeah, there are probably people freaking out knowing what this is.
Yeah, probably people who are not us are understanding. Okay, yeah, it's definitely Demon Souls.
Yep.
Yep. It looks fucking crazy.
I still think this is PlayStation All-Stars.
Yeah. It's just them announcing that, man. Yeah, anyone watching this, you're gonna get cool reaction videos to everyone else. Oh yeah, it looks fucking wild. That is insanely hype for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Blue Point? No, I'm gonna say put Blue Point on it. Yes.
Yep. Like, okay, just to get all the rumors out there. Yeah, it's confirmed. Yeah, no, let's move on.
Yep.
Deathloop is a next-gen first-person shooter about rival assassins locked in a time loop.
Deathloop.
Oh, we're getting Deathloop and Ghostwire here.
What Arcane is all about. Freeform immersive gameplay, a surreal player-driven story smashed together.
Want to see some stylish action? Check this out.
It's like, we don't need our own conference. We're just going to show our shit in places.
This is smarter. I wish Bethesda had done this the last 3 years. I have a lot less complaints.
Tell your fucking dad.
Not making this easy.
Forever drunk. Feel that. Yeah.
Candy bar. It's a trap. Don't go to the candy bar. It's all simulation.
That loop, get it? Like in the title.
Like Fruit Loops.
Yes.
Might be a simulation these people would fix.
Damn. Good morning, Black Reef. Another day, another death. Aren't time loops fun? For everyone else on this island, this place is paradise. A never-ending party where hunting me is the main attraction. And no matter how I try to escape, they always cut me down. But I'm one stubborn motherfucker. Every loop I'm learning a little more, piecing together the puzzle. There's 8 targets, and they all gotta die before midnight. There's just one little snag.
You thought it was going to be easy?
Juliana Blake, Black Reef's protector and a real pain in my ass. She may kill me 1,000,000 times, but eventually, inevitably, I will break this fucking loop.
I love the like style.
Yeah.
The, like 70s style is very unique and cool. Yeah, they like treat it like it looks like a movie poster. It's really cool.
I don't like watching you die. I like killing you. There's a difference.
Okay.
So is it going to be a story thing that you're going back and forth between them, or is it a multiplayer thing? I still don't like 100% know. This definitely made it seem more like a story thing, but then at the end they show you playing as her, so I don't know.
I think you can do from both perspectives.
But still a single player thing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm assuming. But I thought it would be a cool concept as a multiplayer thing, but, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm assuming.
Long ago, a young girl went with her mother to pick berries for her father, who was hard at work. But the forest greeted them with a dark, cold silence. The bushes empty. Yet determined to find the berries, the rascal broke free of Mother's grasp and vanished into the trees. Mother's worried cries getting fast as the girl ran on, over vine, under branch, and into the forest deep.
What is it with that creepy story?
It's just a local tale.
You're really into that stuff?
Quit being so paranoid.
No! Friendly! Friendly! Who are you? Who sent you? What's going on? They're coming. Who is?
I think it's Resident Evil, maybe?
Yeah.
Just based on the rumors.
We heard the rumors about the weird, like, kind of supernatural stuff. That would be my guess right now. Definitely very tonally different if it is Resident Evil. Still has a lot of the Resident Evil over the topness, even if it's a I think this is Resident Evil. Because we heard about the werewolves.
Yep.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Yep.
8,
baby.
8. Yep.
I was thinking from the beginning, but I didn't want to sound stupid.
They did another title thing.
Yes. Yes. 2021, okay.
Maybe early though. So I'm right in saying, I mean, like that. It looked like it wasn't taking place in like old times. Like it looked like
it's post 7 because that's the 7 protagonist.
Yeah. So I wonder, are they just like deep in the woods or something? Because like everyone looked like almost 1800s, you know, with a lot of their outfits and everything.
Let's go.
I'm sure that change is going to be kind of controversial to people, the whole supernatural, like, werewolves and shit. But as someone who doesn't care, I'm down with the change. Did they stick to it? Did Chris Redfield look drastically different yet again?
The thing is, the graphics are different. And remember, he had like a beard or something. So, so that freaky cat.
Another Cyberpunk cat game.
Yep.
In one conference.
Another dad game.
Yep. Dad, cats, and Cyberpunk. That's video games.
That's video game if I ever saw one.
Starfield. Astral Chain.
Oh shit, we're in a simulation.
Assassin's Creed. It's like has everything that's happening in it makes it sound like it's an anime, but it doesn't look like anime.
So it's a Kojima game.
But like, yeah, the girl with cyber eyes. Like, couldn't you see all of this happening if you just like described it? You'd be like, oh, okay. So
Pragmata.
What is that?
Freedom. Our freedom.
Boundless freedom.
2022.
What's the first? 2022.
I gotta be getting close to the end now.
Definitely, as it's gone on, we've seen more closer to like the Xbox event with just like cinematic stuff and not gameplay, but we've still gotten definitely more gameplay overall.
You see this being the last thing?
Uncharted? Or Horizon, no, Horizon. Let's go. Let's fucking go, dude.
The old ones
Hell yeah, let's go.
perished.
I think this is still a place for the All-Stars too.
They're great cities. turned to grave.
Fuck yeah, pelicans. Now we're talking.
In their place came new life. And new dangers. I must find a way to stop it. Or it will get worse and worse.
Shit, it's a big boy. Big turtle man.
Until it destroys us all. There's nothing I wouldn't do to save this world. No depth I won't explore. No secret I won't unlock. No barrier I won't cross. This mission is mine alone. If I falter, if I fail, there won't be anyone left to stop what's coming.
What's that subtitle? Forbidden.
More than 8 letters.
More. 2 words though.
But whatever comes, I will be
Crazy
ready.
shit. Launch, launch, launch. Please. Or nothing.
On behalf of the entire team at Gorilla,
Maybe they'll show
we're happy
gameplay.
to share the first look at Horizon Forbidden West.
We're continuing Elga's story as she moves west to a far future America.
To brave a beautiful but dangerous frontier, masked with mysterious new threats.
Get ready to explore distant lands ravaged by massive storms.
And take on new, powerful machines as you return
to the majestic world of Horizon.
Stay tuned for much more. We can't wait for you to get your hands on it.
Damn, yeah. I didn't expect Horizon to end with no release window or anything at all.
I think there's a lot to look forward to for the community. I think fans are going to be really pleased.
As a game designer and storyteller,
So yeah, definitely confirmed that Spider-Man's the only big Sony thing at launch, which is crazy.
Yeah.
It's not the one I expected to be at launch.
Experiences like we've never had before. More iconic, interesting characters, more atmospheric, immersive worlds.
We'll talk about it. It seems Sony was scared, besides Spider-Man, which was coming this year, to put an actual thing on any other stuff.
We can't wait to share them with you.
I think he's the only one that they put something on.
Exciting.
It's really about
Oh, the Zoom call? The Easy Ally Zoom call?
That's not necessarily Zoom.
It's going to be, the council will have to debate.
Yeah.
That's way more than 15, though. I think it counts. That's the vibe they were going for. Was like, we're all at home, but we're all together, and they did that thing. I definitely think that's the thing that they were going for when they made that bet. So, if I was on the council, I would vote yes. Okay, we see in the box, boys. We see in a box. And it's got
I really hope it's
ridges.
shaped like that.
Ridges. You can't set shit on top of this box.
I just wanted to one up Microsoft at making an actual fridge.
You can put your Mountain Dew in your console. It's a bag of beads and bees. Just gonna do all of this for nothing. What the fuck?
Look at that futuristic thing. It doesn't look easy to set down.
Please,
like on his side.
Please tell me it'll go sideways, you know.
Yeah.
Because all of our entertainment centers are built for sideways, but both consoles are doing a vertical thing. It's just like it's a cool fancy.
I guess you can do it on the side on the left. It looks flat.
It's a fancy PC tower.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely a bold-looking design, which it's cool to not have just a normal, basic-looking thing. But God, I hope you can sit on your side.
You should be able. Well, there's a little curve down there.
No, yeah, and it has a stand at the bottom. I don't think.
But
so.
they show these stands so that you can sometimes just.
Like, as cool as it looks, it's just not practical. All of our entertainment centers are built for.
Especially when we have both
horizontal
ours
stuff.
in there.
Yeah, it's just gonna be a pain in the ass. It is a crazy looking design. I mean, if this was a PC, I'd be like, that's a dope ass PC tower. But as a console, I'm like,
they're
a disc
digital edition. Okay.
Okay. So you get a disc or no disc, I guess.
Yeah! Cameras!
Again, as cool as the console looks, I just want confirmation that it can go.
Fuck yeah, remotes!
I don't know, dude. That thing's too curvy. I don't think it will.
Enjoyed the first glimpse of our future today. You've seen our most striking console design yet, and you've seen games that can only be enjoyed with the full range of PlayStation 5's features and power. At PlayStation, we believe in generational transitions, and we put years of work into making them happen. We want you to enjoy the unique benefits of moving from one generation to the next. Thank you for joining us. We're launching later this year, and we have tons more to share. Welcome to PlayStation 5.
Yeah, I really don't think so.
No knack? What is this garbage?
Garbage. Put it in the trash.
But whatever comes.
It was. Yeah, we'll let them do their sizzle reel. Definitely think that the design is overkill. Like, I mean, not visually, I'm fine with it in a lot of ways, but they went for flashiness over practicality, and when we've had the console for 3 years, we won't give a fuck at what it looks like.
Yeah.
We're just gonna care about the fact that I had to completely up in my entertainment center. You know, I have to have this thing on top of it to the side or on the ground somewhere because
it messes up ours because we'll have both ours and the Switch dock,
right,
which
like,
all need to be on top.
Yeah, right now it's perfect because we can fit both of our things in the cubby holes. But like now, if we have to set another thing on top, then the VR has to come down or the Switch has to come down or something. I really do think that's the biggest thing that's like maybe annoyed me now is that, like, again, flashiness over practicality, and flashiness only matters for selling the console originally. You won't give a fuck about that very quickly. Man, really was not expecting Spider-Man to be the launch game. Also, a little surprised that we didn't get any sort of window on Ratchet and Clank, did we?
So that's the thing we're allowed to talk about. We didn't even get a window on Horizon.
Yeah.
PlayStation.
Alrighty. Mute and assume we are done. Alrighty. Well, let me let's see if I can I already use this to skip around, or maybe I should just find it on YouTube. PlayStation. The future of gaming. Guess it's not up in complete video form anywhere yet. At least for right now, we can skip around this. Okay, so we will have this there. Just go ahead and mute that. Make sure everyone's just hearing this. Okay, I'm gonna hit record here because I might put up these discussions separately.
Okay.
But I just want to be able to upload it directly. So are you ready to begin the post-conference discussion, Jeff?
Yep, I'm just trying to see if I can find some maybe press release stuff for some of the games, so in case there's any extra information.
We can start. Well, hello, Jeffrey.
Hello, Darby.
We just witnessed the future of gaming. The future is nigh. So we just watched the Sony PS5 Future Gaming event where they revealed the PS5 and a bunch of games that we will be playing on it. It was about an hour long, right? Hour-long show?
Yeah, a little over 70 minutes.
A little over 70-minute show. And I was impressed.
Yeah.
I was definitely overall very impressed. I think that as the show went on, I think it started to give me some vibes of the Xbox event where it's like, okay, this is a lot of, cinematic stuff, not a lot of gameplay. I mean, the difference being that, it wasn't as promised, and the Xbox event didn't really have those things to latch on to be really excited. This absolutely did.
Yeah.
There were absolutely, even if you didn't care about a lot of the middle games, which I did, but even if you didn't care about a lot of them, you're definitely walking away from this with at
least something.
Something,
even from the standpoint of just Sony's first party studios, they showed a whole lot from them.
And surprises. There were definitely some big surprises there.
Mm-hmm.
I think chief among them, which I think let's talk about it right away. Spider-Man, Miles Morales, especially Miles Morales being the subtitle for it.
Yep.
And this fall, it's a launch game.
Yep.
We also got Horizon.
This is for a correction. It's this holiday, Darby. Whatever that means.
I'm assuming it's launch, but even if it's not launch, it's going to be right around launch. With holiday, it's basically their launch first party game, because they also showed Horizon 2, which looked really cool, but no date or window or anything for that, which was kind of surprising. I don't think any of us really expected Spider-Man to be the one, if there was going to be one. I didn't see anyone predicting that.
Also, I correct myself. I think I said 3 years or something. I'm getting my years mixed up. It's actually been 2 years since Spider-Man. Not even 2 years.
That's really surprising.
Yeah.
That is really surprising for that to...
That's what I'm trying to look up and see if let's see if they talk about it being like a smaller game, because I feel like it has to be. Because they just say Miles Morales, like they don't even because it's obviously focused on Miles Morales. It's not even talking about the stuff it hinted about related to Peter's story in the first game.
Yeah, and that subtitle, it could mean just that the story is really the whole next sequel game is all focusing on Miles Morales, or it could mean that it's kind of a smaller size.
So I got a feeling it's more of a smaller thing. It might be like a full game, but it just may not be as long as the first Spider-Man, or what the if it is a smaller thing 2 would be. This could just be a way of, okay, we're just gonna focus on Miles in this game, so when we get to 2, half the game isn't setting up him.
You still think there will be a game called Spider-Man 2?
Yeah.
After this,
assuming they aren't if they're not considering this Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Then most definitely.
Okay. I mean, basically that's my question. So you don't think this is Spider-Man 2?
Based on what we're seeing,
it might be a full game, but it's going to be
based on what we saw and the fact that it's only coming out 2 years after Spider-Man 1. Yeah, I think this is Spider-Man 1.5, and will help lead to Spider-Man 2. That way, like I said, they can not focus as much in this game on Miles becoming Spider-Man, and can focus more on all the other stuff.
Yeah. That's what I assume too. I mean, I assume it'll be more clear when we look back after Spider-Man 2 and stuff has come out. It'll be like, okay, yeah, well, Miles Morales was a bridge game. But like, there's no way that, like, I feel like there's going to be some controversy if it's like a really like a small game. It's basically like a DLC that's like really high budget, like on PS5 or whatever. Like, I would hope that it is pretty much a full game. But the fact that it was only made in 2 years definitely makes me worry that it'll be... I'm sure it's going to be good, but it'll make me worry that there might be some talk about I'm paying $60 for like a game that's like half the size or something.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know if it'll even be $60.
Maybe it won't. Yeah.
Well, I'm assuming
it's just something like this doesn't happen very often for these like big things like this. Like usually these big like Sony games like this is kind of a new thing for them to maybe have a smaller side game in between. Usually it's the just one into the other. With the big ones, but I mean that's not to say it's bad. It's just it's a new format, at least for Sony, for sure.
It's like it'll be Sony, at least the first party launch title.
But it's exciting, and just the fact of like having more Miles Morales, me and you were both super excited about as soon as we saw that. Like, and just a lot of the visuals look really, really cool. Really was not expecting that holiday 2020 at the end there.
Nope.
Super wasn't expecting that. I really like the trailer too, though, with the music and everything. It was nice. Very nice.
Very nice way to start out. I mean, they started with a GTA thing, but I guess that was just more of, hey, GTA stuff's continuing. We're doing all this shit, but it's a PS4 game, so let's get that shit out of the way before we go to the big PS5 games.
Yeah.
Then they talk about Gran Turismo 7. Well, we don't have anything to say about that. Yeah. Next, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Fuck yes.
It's like they quickly like, hey, Insomniac's working on a lot of shit.
But they had the first two announcements pretty much. And like, I mean, Gran Turismo is an announcement. It definitely is. But they had like, boom, back to back almost. Yeah. Obviously, this is the thing I'm most hyped about from this show. I mean, like, I love Ratchet and Clank as a kid. It's my least favorite of the big three Sony platforms, but I still absolutely adore it. And I think 2016 was a phenomenal game, but fucking look at this.
No,
look at this.
No, I was like, when looking at it, like this is one of those showcase with trailers and everything where it's like, it shows that this is the next console up from the 2016 version. That this is PS5 instead of PS4.
100%. Like,
because just all this crazy stuff going on and just all the stuff in the background. I kind of pointed out like later in the gameplay stuff when he's like running through like the town or whatever. All those people there. Not really that much of that. Like having people being there, citizens is nothing that happened really in the 2016
no, you kind of have like hub worlds with just like enemies, and you're not really living in like a society with a bunch of stuff going on most of the game. But this, I mean, this was obviously like set up to be like showboating the PS5, to be like, look at us, look at all these environments we just made. But one thing that was like, I think is really cool about this trailer to me is that it's using the PS5 and using like super realistic lighting and everything like this, just looking at that and just how like stunning it looks from a technical perspective. But I also still think that it looks true to the kind of cartoony art style of Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
Like I think it toes those two lines really well, which is kind of hard to do. Sometimes you can make like a cartoony thing look way too realistic and it's like, okay, you kind of lost something. Whereas like I feel like this trailer, it still looks Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
But it just looks like crazy version of it.
Yeah. And the next part was pretty high plate. Let's go.
So is this just like another character? Or is this like Ratchet from a different universe or something?
Okay. So
you can pause it.
Probably not. Oh, wait, they're about to show the gameplay, so you can keep it. Never mind. So based on what I got all that, a bunch of stuff are happening, maybe time, like either you're going through time or different worlds and stuff. Based on what Clank said during the part, I think it's the future. And that Lady Lombax might be related to Ratchet and so on. She has the hammer and
daughter,
everything. She's going to be playable. I have no doubt about that. She as far as the way her body shape and everything, it's exactly like Ratchet.
Yeah,
and she has the hammer.
So we're gonna have some Back to the Future type shit.
At some point in the story, that's gonna happen with Clank, and then we play as her, which is hype.
Yeah, that. Section.
Everything about this thing was hype. Like when we get to the gameplay, just all the kind of crazy stuff they were showing. It's kind of basic Ratchet and Clank.
Didn't
gameplay.
He said something about the multiverse though, didn't he? I mean, like some. I thought he said something like the multiverse is all messed up or something like that. So maybe it's time and universes.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And you have all this rift stuff, which is really cool. That can add a bunch of movement options that you just kind of pulling yourself to these locations. They help you like dodge stuff or get, for platforming stuff and all that. And again, like I was saying, just all these people around here while you're going through it, this environment.
I'm sure it's one of those things if we booted up 2016 Ratchet and Clank, it would even more look like, wow, this is, I mean, just the lighting and everything. It's cool to see. It's cool to see the power of the PS5 used on. Again, a game like Ratchet and Clank that kind of has more of an art style, cartoony vibe, but it
Darby,
still works so well.
This is the knack of the PS5, but it'll actually.
Thank God. Thank Christ.
People will actually not joke about it and make it a meme.
We could drop the bit for a second. Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God. This is the knack.
No, and I'm glad they just went ahead and announced this because a lot of people have been wondering where's Ratchet and Clank because 2016 did well. It's received well. It sold well from what.
I honestly didn't. If you had asked me, is another Ratchet and Clank like this going to happen, I would have said no. I just really didn't think they were working on it. I thought it was kind of a one and done type deal.
I just wasn't
shocked, but
I just wasn't sure. I figured it's kind of at some point because again, I think it's sold well enough for it, and Insomniac likes it enough. It just depended on if Insomniac was just gonna put all hands on deck on Spider-Man.
I thought Spider-Man killed Ratchet and Clank is basically what I assumed.
I just kind of figured it because Insomniac had multiple teams, so they'd be fine unless they could just combine it all into one team, which obviously they didn't, and we are better for it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad. I mean, because personally, I like Ratchet and Clank more than Spider-Man, personally. But I love both, but I like Ratchet and Clank more. And but I personally thought that Spider-Man was just such an opportunity for the team that it was going to be we are all hands on most hands on deck.
I figured Ratchet and Clank was coming at some point, but I just didn't know if it was not if it was going to start after they got bought by Sony.
Well, and I mean, the fact that we don't have any sort of date or window on this might be indicative of when this started. This might have not started.
So I'm going to throw this out there. I don't think it's indicative of anything. Because
there wasn't many dates in the whole
we're going to go through this, and I think all the PlayStation Studio stuff, only Spider-Man got anything.
Yeah.
Year, month, time frame, anything. There might be another one I'm missing. But as far as their stuff, I think that's the only one that got anything. I think they just want to kind of hide stuff that's not, I guess, for sure the launch/holiday.
Yeah, I hope it's the dates aren't that far away and they're just hiding that versus the normal Sony thing of we're going to show you things way too fucking early.
Yeah.
Because and right now they feel like they have to show you things. That's the cynical view is that Sony does what Sony's been doing and,
Yeah.
But, so what, are you expecting this next year?
Next year, I imagine it's planned for next year for sure.
That's what I would think too, but...
I mean, if we go in that mindset of, if the stuff they didn't put anything on is far away, then they only have Spider-Man for the next couple.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not true for all of them. For sure.
I'm expecting. We can go through it. The ones on the top of my head, and we'll get to them as we go through as far as talking the trailers and everything. Ratchet, Horizon, Sackboy, and Astrobot. I expect all those to at least be planned for next year.
So you don't think Horizon 2 would be planned for next year?
I mentioned her. I said Ratchet, Horizon.
Okay, I didn't hear Horizon.
I didn't say it in order thing. Yeah,
gotcha.
I expect all those to be planned for next year.
Yeah. I mean, I do too. I think, but I don't know.
Again, planned. They could be planned and then pushed back because COVID's a thing.
I mean, I also kind of had the suspicion that, like, as soon as we saw Spider-Man being launched, a part of me was like, okay, Horizon's not going to be launched.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's ready, it's
I kind of got that.
It's like,
I had that thought too. I was kind of like, maybe because it
was
was looking like it was kind of not a full $60 game thing.
Yeah.
But they also, we'll get to it. There's other games that you're forgetting. Like, we know Godfall is going to be in it, and that's exclusive as far as we know. So that's going to be a big one.
Well, it's one of those, we always, like, leading up to this, we said Horizon as the Sony big launch title, but we were saying that because none of us entertained the possibility of a Spider-Man sequel being ready for launch. If a Spider-Man sequel is ready for launch, like, in the cynical business, like, mind of it, that's a way bigger system seller than Horizon.
Oh, no, yeah,
like,
yeah.
having a Spider-Man game that's like, you can only get this on the PS5, that's gonna, like, bring people to shelves, bring people to stores a lot more than Horizon. Not that Horizon won't at all, but Spider-Man's the bigger name, 100%.
For sure.
We just all assumed that Spider-Man, there was no chance Spider-Man's gonna be a Spider-Man game.
No, that's a big one to be a launch title for sure.
Yeah.
Whether it's a $40 in 1.5 or not, that's a big thing.
Still has the Spider-Man name.
and it's a PS5 only thing based on what they said. We might look and see that it's not, but based on those graphics, I'm going to assume so.
I'm assuming so.
Okay, moving on to this one. The only Square Enix game we got, Project Athia.
Yeah,
looks pretty dope.
It does look pretty cool. Anytime you see Project on the game, you get worried. We're not
especially when Square Enix is involved.
Yes, especially.
But we saw some stuff in here that's obviously gameplay. That I mean, that's happened before for sure. But it gives you a little more hope.
Yeah, it was. I mean, if you just looking at it as a look what the PS5 can do, it was definitely very pretty, and there's some cool little things. It looks maybe a little bit more along. Like, it's not just cinematic. This looks like it's taken from a gameplay thing, which is, nice.
Yep.
Definitely me and everyone else in the world when we saw Square Enix was like, ooh, are we getting that Final Fantasy 16?
Nope. And designed exclusively for PS5.
So that's interesting too.
Yeah.
Square Enix, Sony exclusive game, and exclusive for next gen.
Yeah.
But again, Project Athia. This game's probably not coming out for freaking 2 years at least. So.
Yep. Okay. Next one. Stray, the Annapurna weird robot cat game. Well, the cats aren't robots. They're robot only people, but then there's this cat that kind of goes around.
Again, this is definitely a only cinematic game, like. Showing tone and everything, and
announced for 2021. Neat.
Yep, I think it's interesting. I want to know what I'm getting up to as this cat.
What? Okay, so I'm gonna say,
is this the good life, but actually good? I'm sorry, Jacob. Don't kill me.
Man, I haven't played the game. Annapurna things at this point with their trailers, they always make me go like, ooh, but I feel like I don't really see them again. I just kind of hear about their games coming out.
Yeah. The Annapurna games I have played have been very good. But
yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm not saying that.
But yeah, you're right. I mean,
it feels like they're announcing and they look really cool and they get kind of talked about at the time and then they just kind of...
They fade away for a long time. Like they announce things as concepts way too early. And like you say, you're always interested in them, but you never really feel like you get...
Yeah, like 12 minutes last year. As far as I know, that's not out.
And hasn't been in anything else.
Yeah, exactly. That's not the kind of game, and a lot of Annapurna's games aren't the type of ones that you show in these big things and then disappear for a year plus.
Yeah, but they're also not always like 12 minutes. I think it'll do 12 minutes good for me to not show it that often. I just kind of
I'm saying that. I just say the timing compared to release.
Yeah,
that's why I'm talking about 12 minutes.
Like 12
I don't disagree with you for
12
sure.
12 minutes probably should have been planned for this E3. Obviously, E3's not happening, but that's what
I feel like that with a 12-minute trailer. I agree with you that that's all that needs to be shown to get anyone who'd be interested in it. But that needs to be the kind of trailer where you do it and at least have a time frame.
I agree. Like I said, it should have been a full calendar year later that you're showing that game if you're not ready. But
next one. This is the PlayStation Studio game from Housemarque. Returnal. Big different from their...
We had our specs showboating for a while, and then we got to...
I guess that'd be the... I'll get to that later. I guess I'll have to watch and see, like, what is technically counts as spec talk? That might be about it. So that was the only. Yeah, that was the only. I think whoever has the low wins that bet. Probably.
I had the low on a lot of things, but we'll see.
This is a big departure from their PS4 launch game.
Yeah, they did. They had that. I
forgot about that until you mentioned it.
Yeah, it was like a multiplayer thing that just no one cared about, and it honestly didn't look that interesting to me. It just kind of looked like.
Another thing that too. But something else you remind me of. They kind of said at some point that they kind of were saying they were going to go to more of these kind of games.
They said arcade is dead. It was like this very dramatic post and stuff where they talked about no one's buying arcade games anymore, so we're moving on to other things. And obviously very different direction. I think this was a very well made trailer as far as just like the mystery and like I think the VO, the voiceover thing. Was super interesting.
I'm very interested based on this trailer just because I think this is a really good trailer because it shows like what the story is and getting you to know may understand the main character more. Showed bits of gameplay throughout and all these different creatures and settings and stuff that you're going to see throughout this game. I think it was a good way to show off everything to get people interested.
Yeah. I am slightly concerned that we might get to a space horror saturation point because I feel like between the Xbox event and this event and even a lot of events before that, we've gotten a lot of either straight up horror games or games with heavy horror elements and they're going to start running together. Same thing with Cyberpunk. At some point, Cyberpunk games are going to become like zombie games where we're like, stop. We've had enough of this shit. Yeah.
The games will have to stand up, but this game looks really interesting.
It does.
I think you can look at it and tell that it has that actual Sony backing.
It was a gripping trailer. It was a trailer that made you ask questions.
Okay, now this is what we're going to have to look up. Sackboy's A Big Adventure. I got to check out Sumo. I'm forgetting what all Sumo Digital has done.
I'm like, is this some weird new mascot to do? It's like, no. This is a super realistic furry Sackboy.
Let's go, baby.
Which is, obviously Sackboy was the shit in PS3. It was like the Sony mascot, but then he's kind of completely fallen off for freaking 6 years?
Something like that. Let's see.
And so he's kind of given up the idea of having mascots, but I'm glad to know that Sackboy still has a place in modern Sony, because I honestly thought the answer to that would have been no.
Yeah, I'm not surprised this is a thing, because it felt like at some point Sackboy as a mascot was bigger in a way than Little Big Planet, as far as marketability, which obviously they agree if they're deciding to make a game. It doesn't even reference Little Big Planet. It's not even Media Molecule.
And it definitely doesn't look like a small side game. It's like,
no, this is a full 3D platformer that's using this character that is beloved.
Though maybe one thing is this is just straight up like a 2D platformer going or whatever, whereas Little Big Planet was like a almost side-scrolling thing that had a lot of created, level creation things. I wonder if this doesn't have level creation. This is just a 2D platformer.
I think it's just the 3D platformer part.
3D platformer, not 2D, obviously. Yeah. So that maybe that's also part of the difference. Yep. It's and that might just be where they're going from here.
This is the Mario 3D world of this generation.
They have Dreams for their weird creation things. Yeah. So, Dreams is like Little Big Planet, but on steroids.
I think this game's going to do pretty well as a family game for sure, since it's 4 players.
Just looking at it, like I said when we were watching it, it looks like a super duper HD, using all the power of the PS5 version of a Nintendo game. It looks like a Nintendo game in a lot of ways. It looks fun.
Yeah.
And I'll be interested to see how it catches on, because Little Big Planet was pretty damn big at a certain point, but that was a very different Sony back then. It was a different gaming landscape back then too.
Yeah, I think what I like about this, and we'll get through it, I like how, they did a good job. If we're just talking about their first party studios, it's kind of separating those and just look what they showed. A good job of kind of showing a good bit of what we expect, the mature kind of serious stuff, and then showing all this cartoony crap, because they showed Ratchet, they showed this, they showed Astro.
Yeah, I think we have to, for how much shit talk we did, on them in the podcast, and not that it's like fixed overnight, but I mean, we were talking about, Sony kind of their output becoming kind of stale as far as just the same type of game over and over again. I'm happy that coming out of this, we had there was a pretty wide variety, and there was, the fact to have this and Ratchet makes me happy.
Yes, indeed. Again, no date. Next one, another PlayStation Studios game, Destruction All-Stars.
Looks like dumb fun.
Yeah.
It looks like a game that normally would not have this type of budget, but it's trying to sell a console. So they're like, we're going to make crazy effects for this probably okay game.
I was kind of expecting at the end of them to say free-to-play.
Yeah.
And it could still end up being that way, but...
It could be. They just didn't want easy hours to make that bet.
Nope.
I played like a really shitty PS2 Destruction Derby game as a kid and really enjoyed it. Maybe this
game got more interesting as it went on because it started showing stuff like this, people out of the car doing stuff, saw some wall running, all that kind of stuff, and the car is kind of transforming to add some additions to it, like weapons stuff, and then just all that kind of stuff.
I think it could definitely be fun. This trailer is definitely just selling the PS5 graphics more than selling a game almost. And I think the most likely scenario is that this is like a 6 or 7, out of 10 game or whatever. That people will play a little bit, but not a lot. But definitely could be fun. Could be fun.
Yeah, I'm up for it if it's free to play. Giving it a shot.
Would be even better. Yes.
Yeah. Next one we have Kena, Bridge of Spirits, or Kena.
Really, really like this. Yeah, this is probably number 2 after Ratchet for me.
Nice.
Or maybe number 3 after Horizon for me, as far as my hype for something. But even Horizon didn't show quite enough gameplay for my taste.
Yeah.
But I thought this was really, really, really cool. I love the art style. This is another example for me of utilizing the PS5, but it also has a art style thing. It's not super it straight up at times looked like a Pixar movie.
Well, the thing I was worried about when watching this is okay, this looks very pretty and everything, but what does it look like in game? And then they show the in game okay, yes, it obviously it's there's a little difference between the cinematic and the actual gameplay stuff, but it still looks a lot like what's going on here, which great.
And I respect that. That's so smart for a game reveal, and too few developers do that. Usually they just show you the cinematic thing. They're like, aren't you impressed? And it's like, yeah, but I've watched video games enough to be skeptical about this. I need to see what it looks like. And it was so cool that it's they gave you the hype cinematic, but then they're like, we're also going to show you in game because they're proud of it.
Oh, yeah, it's just the way this world looks.
It looks good. It looks
good. Again, along with you, this is the game that just really appeals to me.
Yeah.
Just all the way around, just all the cute little stuff. Look at those little furry creatures.
Oh yeah, I'm just so happy to see, because I think too often you have to kind of pick between gritty realism and poppy art style, and I just think this whole show showed us a lot of mixing, and how how the PS5 is going to enhance not only your GTAs and shit like that, but also stuff like this.
Yep, really good. Definitely one we'll have to keep an eye on.
Who was the developer for this?
Well, they said it at the top.
Oh yeah,
something.
Go back and load, but
I know I had a fire in the name.
So you probably know what I've heard of. It might.
No, it sounded like it was a smaller team.
Yeah, which is cool
for sure. Ember
Lab, yeah. Never heard of. That's cool.
Yep.
Sweet.
Next one. Goodbye Volcano High. Come out in 2021. Nice little I forget the name of it. It reminded me instantly of that monster dating visual novel thing. And then obviously oh, okay. They're dinosaurs.
Yeah.
In high school.
I love the art style, and like I said when we were watching the thing, I can definitely be a sucker for the Life is Strange-esque, high school drama thing that a lot of people will not like, but in the right context, I can be a big old sucker for that. So
yeah, the only thing was I was just wondering, and it could very well just look like this, and when you're actually playing it, how much of this does it actually look like? What's it look like in game? or is it a visual novel type
It
thing?
might just be choices, but like, yeah, we still don't really know.
That's fine.
We still don't really know what the actual gameplay is. But this art style looks really good. I would watch this show. I would watch this as an animated show.
And design of characters are really cool. Just design of the world's going like, oh, dinosaur stuff, and I guess they're talking about potentially the end of an era thing. I guess that can mean two things, like dinosaurs ending or the high school. Probably just the high school. But what are well, okay, there's that there. I wonder if it's just at the end.
They all gonna die, Jeff.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
That's the game to keep an eye on. The problem is that with this conference, there are a lot of games like more than other ones where I'm like very interested in. That I'm like, I'm gonna have to keep an eye on this thing.
Yeah, really, like the Destruction Derby thing is probably like that, and Gran Turismo are probably like the lowest end, and it's like everything else. I'm like, yeah, I'm straight up.
Well, I mean, the next game you won't care too much.
Yeah, there was more than just that, but at least the vast majority of the games we can skip over.
Yeah, this game looked fine. It's odd. I'm confused what the gameplay is. It kind of like tower defense there a little bit for sometimes, and then these weird.
It's a tonally off trailer. The tone of the trailer is like super dark, and then what you're seeing doesn't exactly fit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Doesn't speak to me, sir. No, next Ghostwire, baby. Finally got that gameplay, and like you said during this, Darby, or definitely one of them where we mentioned it. It's like this is what Bethesda should have been doing all along.
100%.
Sending their stuff into.
We would not have been criticizing them. It would have been like, hey, you have some cool games, and it's like, but that's the key thing. You have some cool games. You have a few, so just put them in conferences like everyone else. And
well, Darby, let's talk about this creepy ass game.
As I said, we were watching it. This looks like a Jacob ass game. I wish Jacob was here to talk about it.
I wish he was here for that in Resident Evil at the very least. And
yeah, both of those.
No Silent Hill. No, but shame.
Yeah, but
we got our creepy horror quota in this thing for sure.
100%.
Like, I'm loving the design for these creatures, and just
me too. And this is another one that is just they shoot this very well. It's just like there's like kind of like chaotic nature to like the way that like things are cutting all over the place. But this
is one of those games as far as the actual models of the characters look. I can tell like this one looks more like a PS4 game than other ones.
Yeah,
in my opinion,
at
like
times, but then
I wonder if this is crossing because I don't know if they technically like this in Deathloop. I may be wrong. I don't know if they technically announced them for PS4, like a current gen systems.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
So we'll have to look at that stuff, and that's just stuff we'll bring up on the podcast where we can just talk about a couple highlights. But
I can definitely see them, but because I mean, obviously a lot of third parties are going to keep releasing PS4 games for a while because there's over 100 million of them in the wild. Yeah. They're not going to move on immediately. But yes, I think we didn't know that this game was going to be. It's interesting that it's first person, but it looks like they're doing so many cool things with it being first person.
I need to watch that first trailer again. I thought it was going to be more samurai-y.
Yeah, we just like saw the guy there with the
But it's also very interesting. It seems very magic-y and just all supernatural stuff, which based on what we're seeing in this game, I am all okay with. It's all that, and just kind of also has that. I mean, it's called Ghostwire Living Tokyo, so it's a mixture of the horror and the cyberpunk stuff, which it seems to be doing it in a very cool way.
I wonder what the like combat versus I don't know what else
the general vibe looks like. Just exploring and all that.
Like, is there going to be like boss fights? Are you going to be fighting like swarms of enemy that you have to strategize things, or is it going to be more simple combat than that, and it's more about the experience of this thing? Like that split, I'm interested to see how that.
And how much of it is like open world? Like how open world is it?
I spent very little. Like it just struck me as you are going through this weird ass story. Like it struck me as a linear thing, but I might be wrong.
I see it.
That's what it struck me.
That's why because you're on the streets of Tokyo a good bit, so I could see it maybe. But I do agree with you based on like look more maybe.
It looked like a lot of scripted events. I mean, it looked like a lot of like crazy things going on, but. Obviously don't know completely, and we still don't have a great 100%. Like this can't be the last trailer. We need to know more. But like,
it's coming out in 2021. So, but
this is cool.
But we've been talking about since last E3 that the Ghostwire Tokyo was reveal trailer was really good, and the highlight besides Deathloop, which we'll obviously get to later. Yes. But for both games, like okay, but we need to see gameplay. We need to know more. We got both that here and. well, again, we'll get to Deathloop there. I'm impressed with Ghostwire so far. The vibe is going further in the vibe that they set up in the reveal trailer, and I am digging it. And combat, what they showed, it's like, okay, this could be fun. I could be into this.
Yeah.
I don't know why, I was a little surprised it was first person. I guess, I don't know.
Yeah, I was a little surprised.
I guess after The Evil Within, I expect it to be kind of third person like that.
Yeah. The combat is definitely where I'm like the most like this could get old. You know, like
I agree.
Sometimes like you know they didn't show it was flashy, but you didn't see too many different things. It was mostly like lobbing fireballs or ice balls or some other things at people.
Oh, a bunch of junk.
And I do worry about like there's things like it gives me a Mirror's Edge vibe in a way. You're not doing the parkourness, but the kind of like chaotic first person thing like that, and sometimes that can get kind of old if you don't mix it up enough.
Yeah. But for right now,
vibe wise, it's nailing it. And this is the type of weird horror ish things that I love when it's like slightly horror. It's like kind of like there's something weird and off about it. You know, that's kind of like
and just for me personally, partly because one of them was like a headless schoolgirl. Enough anime to keep
yeah.
No, but all right, this isn't saying much coming for me. It's probably the most interested I've been in the potentially been in a Bethesda game.
And I want to go back and look at that first one because the first one wasn't there the whole thing that they were talking about like people are disappearing in Tokyo and stuff like that.
There were a couple times because in the original trailer you see them like they just kind of disappear and their clothes flop to the ground. There were a couple parts in this trailer, I believe, where you saw clothes on the ground.
Okay.
So I was just kind of going with that.
That's cool.
I think, this is coming out next year. Hopefully we'll obviously see more. They probably still showed it too early just because this is probably where it should have premiered. And kind of for this and Deathloop. Actually with Deathloop, they probably could have kept that trailer the same and it be the reveal for the most part.
Both of these games could have. I mean,
what I was getting at, dude, this probably should have been the premiere for both games, and Ghostwire was just kind of a mix of both trailers.
Right.
Showing off the general premise and then going into gameplay.
Yeah, and I think if Bethesda didn't force themselves to have a conference every year, it would have been that way. But yeah.
Both games look dope. Going into the next one, Jet the Far Shore.
I'm okay with that.
Okay. Yes. Coming out holiday. And Darby, you get to see the next thing for the very first time because that's when the mic. I
some
fucked
technical
up the mic.
difficulties. Not really a game. I don't.
Godfall.
I don't expect to care about this, but
yeah.
They said it's a looter slasher, right? They're going for Destiny type looting thing or whatever, but it's a hack and slash game.
It's not that combination, especially that like for both of us, that's not our thing. Like looter stuff, we're not into anyway, and hack and slash games, I feel like generally both of us are kind of particular about it.
It's not something we completely don't like, but there's a lot of them we don't like.
or just like they don't interest us,
right?
At the very least, nothing like it looks pretty and everything, but nothing about the style and what's going on looks particularly interesting to me. It's like it has a style and it's pretty neat, but it's like a kind of generic version of that style.
I agree. I mean, it has like when they first announced it, I expected it to look more Destiny-y, and this looks a little more fantasy than Destiny, but it still doesn't really like. You could probably show me a lot of stills from this game and tell me it was something else. I wouldn't be like, oh, that's Godfall. It's like.
Yeah. I guess between like that and Spider-Man are the big launch titles for the PS5.
Yeah.
And then a couple probably little things.
I didn't really. I saw this kind of in the background as I was.
Annapurna and the creators of Hyper Life Drifter. That's a good way to start out.
And it looks very Hyper Light Drifter. Art style wise, from like color palette and everything.
If you just show me this, like, okay, what hit indie game creator made this? Like, oh yeah, the Hyper Life Drifter devs. Like, this is so much that.
It looks very cool, though.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Like, I was thinking about when watching, it's like, no, I see how this can be from, like, the developers Hyper Life Drifter and Annapurna are publishing it. I get it.
Yeah, I know some people like Hyper Light Drifter is like one of their favorite games of all time.
Oh, yeah. It's one of those, like, we think it's cool, but some people are like, yeah. Understandably so.
Which I've never played it, but wanted to. It's so many games I want to play.
I really like Drifter. I think it's one of those games I could safely say we both got free from like Twitch Prime or something.
Probably.
I'm almost positive I have it from there or something.
I mean, I have not been good about redeeming those, but I think that was like the first one or something. Yeah, very cool. Solar Ash.
Yep, Solar
This is when I got the mic stuff fixed.
Yep, in 2021. Next one, Hitman 3, baby.
Yeah.
Like the only game that we actually got a month for, too. January 2021.
It's basically launch window. You know, it's around.
No, yeah, it's a launch
holidays,
window game.
Yeah.
No, I think this is a good third-party get for Sony to just kind of have.
Yeah, it's big name. I think Hitman 2 did pretty well, didn't it? I mean,
I think it did.
Decent, but
yeah,
they definitely I think are like making these kind of faster. But
yeah, obviously the first two games, they have their audience. There are people that are obviously gonna be
into the gameplay.
Yeah. And I think this does, they show a little bit of gameplay. It's not straight gameplay, but what they show, I think it's good enough to show.
You can tell
this is a PS5 game.
You can tell.
So this could also be a PS4 game for all I know. The way they kind of said things makes it sound like all these things, but Grand Theft Auto might be just straight up PS5.
Some of these models look like it's weird. You can't quite put your finger on it, but you can kind of tell when you're looking at PS4 versus PS5 models sometimes, or or at least like.
Well, with this game in particular, like I would focus more on the environments as far as telling if it's PS4, PS5, because there's so many characters in this world that not all the models are gonna look good. And they're just generic NPCs.
And lighting is the other thing that the PS5 goes crazy with.
So I'm curious to go in, when we'll talk about in the podcast, see what they do. But we will definitely, you can pause it here real quick, T4. This is the one we're going to have to talk about. But we'll look at I'll have to look at the press release stuff and see which ones are actually PS5 exclusives and which ones are going to be cross-gen.
The broadcast you were watching is in. Well, we might have lost the stream, but this was okay. It's back up. Okay. Never mind. We good. Continue.
I think it's.
I mean, we'd be. I had the recording even if we did. But.
Okay. Just want to make sure. Okay. So yeah, I'll look at that stuff and try to bring it up on the podcast. It sounds like most of the stuff is PS5 only, which is neat.
Dope.
Okay, Darby, let's get to the next one. We got something to talk about.
We got to see what I'm assuming is the intro thing to the console.
I don't care about that, Darby. I care about this next part.
Hey, and this is where we started to lose our minds and then immediately kind of brought it back down a little, but we're still excited, but kind of not, but kind of, I mean, we're excited.
Happy internet, you got a regular Astrobot you can play. Yeah. You savages.
Look what you've done.
Look what you fucking did.
It's such complex emotions, Jeff, because it's gonna be great and it looks really good, but
I mean, I don't think this is a crazy thing to say. I'm more excited for this than the Sackboy game.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it's proven track record, and and they obviously they made such a good. Obviously, this is Astrobot Rescue Mission. Anyone listening who doesn't quite know or whatever, most people listening who stumble upon this probably have not played it because PSVR. Not many people have PSVRs, but it is definitely it is the VR game. I think that shows this is a new experience that you cannot have anywhere else. That is. Taking 3D platformers and utilizing VR in the best way. So the point when it irks me and Jeff to no end when people are why don't they do a regular version? Why didn't they make it playable on PS4? And so many big game industry pundits said that over and over again. It's you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You really don't know what you're talking
calling
about.
It now. There'll be some people see, all I had to do was this.
It's I mean, this is gonna be great, I'm sure. But the fact of the matter is, Astrobot was it was great, and it was something that I had never experienced before. It was great in a completely new way that I had never seen before. This is going to be great in a way I've seen 1,000 times. This is going to be a really good 3D platformer, but it is not going to scratch the same itch. It's not going to fill the same thing. It's just simply not. You can't convince me otherwise. This is going to be a really good 3D platform, but it's not going to be the same.
No, I agree. But the biggest thing out of all this, again, we're excited for this game, but I think this probably the biggest indication that PSVR is probably dead.
I agree.
Because they're like Astrobot was one of, if not the biggest, like Sony developed one that people loved. And if the next game in that series is not even in VR, it's like, they showed the studio games. I'm pretty sure it was it's the same people that made Astrobot Rescue Mission. So like, if they're not making Astrobot 2,
right.
They're probably not making any more games besides what's already announced.
If there was going to be a VR 2, this studio would have been put on
Iron Man, unless I'm forgetting something, is probably going to be the last Sony published VR game.
I agree, which honestly is what I thought was the case anyway, but this is the confirmation. I think this is the soft.
Part of me is just kind of glad to, because we figured this was going to happen. I necessarily didn't want it to happen, but if it was going to happen, I'd rather we just go ahead and happen. So I don't have to worry about, like, for some reason, if like I can get a Quest for a really good deal, it's like, well, but what about a PSVR thing? And then, like,
public service announcement: don't go buy a PSVR. If you're gonna buy a VR headset right now, if you're gonna drop several $100s, go get an Oculus. Get something that's probably gonna be supported. Like the PSVR, and it sucks because Astrobot Rescue Mission is gonna be lost to time.
Yeah,
it's gonna be something that fades away, that like not enough people talk about because not enough people got to play it, because it's gonna be like, oh yeah, PlayStation did VR way back then. That was weird, and it kind of sucks that like this thing's never gonna get ported to Oculus or anything like that. Probably. I mean, I should maybe not say never, but I would doubt it.
Yeah. Even again, with that said, as much it kind of goes with disappointing. It's probably to me personally, one of the more hyped announcements, because it's. Still, it's like Astrobot. The charm is still there. The music's still probably going to be awesome, and all that. There's going to be some creativity there. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
So
I have a feeling you won't be as on board with how dramatic I am about this, but I really do think that is a fucking terrible name. I think that it's going to sell less because it's called Astro's Playroom. That sounds like what the actual little bots were in the. Wasn't it called the Playroom?
No, that's exactly why it's called that. I agree with that. Not a good name.
It makes it sound like it's not even a game. It makes it sound like it's a little like tie-in, like Sony branded thing or whatever. Like, I already think those little Astro dudes, it'll sell less. I think Astrobot Rescue Mission sold less because it's those guys. 'Cause I think those guys are just associated with like the kind of failed Sony mascot thing, and I think that's a terrible name that will sell less because of it. Personally, and I just hate it for them.
I don't disagree with you at all. I don't know why. Like, it's a weird thing because why not at least have Astrobot in there? Because looking at it, unless you kind of like if you haven't seen this trailer or whatever and saw this logo, you may not get it that it's the Astrobot like that series.
And just like Playroom just doesn't even seem to make sense with this. And like, why would you use the same term you've already used for something that wasn't even really a game?
To be cute.
You know, it's like, I don't know.
Japan.
Just a bad idea. They should have consulted me.
Yep.
That's all I'm saying.
Little devil inside. The little poop man.
Weird trailer. I'm interested.
I'm still a little confused.
There was a lot of weird in this conference.
Yeah.
Like, not in a bad way. There were just lots of like weird tones and like kind of abstract things.
Because it's there, because there's some things in there that makes it kind of think like you're inside the old man. But then there's that thing in the beginning where he shows up with the thing on the with the goblin thing and just throws on the table right there.
And that's the old man right
there. So we were kind of saying / joking about it, like, oh, is he inside of him? But then they showed the title, Little Devil Inside. It's like, okay, I guess it is.
I don't know. It was bizarre and like that, like the game,
like that, like I love that like scene. They're like, oh, that's beautiful, and then this goes to more cartoony thing, which is neat. But tone wise, it's weirdly kind of all over the place. But it kind of works.
That was intentional for sure.
Oh yeah, 100%.
They were going for like, oh, you're getting scared, and then here's a weird.
And then there's stuff. Wait, are those penguins or bags over their heads?
Yes. It's very abstract and strange. It's very, very weird.
Again, it's one of those games I want to kind of keep an eye on because it looks really cool.
It was a good trailer because like I was like, it's not a trailer you're going to look away from.
No.
It's not a trailer you're going to get bored with because you're like, what the fuck is going on? Yeah, that makes it look like he's just going about his daily life We're definitely inside the man. There's no way.
No, because he drops something at some point and then he poops.
Yeah, we're inside the man.
Yeah.
It's very odd. Why does the man have a whole world inside of him?
Yeah, see? He does this and then he poops.
Yeah. It's not Osmosis Jones because we're not seeing like the bladder and stuff. Like really bizarre.
And
are we fighting his emotions? Are these like the man's emotions or something?
Maybe. And just kind of mention the thing, like the creature designs, like a lot of them are just kind of cool in a goofy way, and then just cool in just a cool badass way, and I dig it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm here.
Yep.
Very weird.
Next game, Darby, I know we're both in for. Yeah.
With their in-game model announcing.
Yeah.
Let's just appreciate the sweat and then move on. All right, we gotta find that sweat.
This was the obligatory sports game.
There's a little leg sweat. All right, there's that sweat.
Yeah.
Sell that sweat, EA.
I'm just kind of surprised we didn't Call of Duty.
Yep.
So I think I saw some people hint at that we're probably not getting Call of Duty in this, but I'm okay with not getting it.
Speaking of weird, you got Little Devil in time.
So Darby, I'm going to tell you what I potentially thought this was.
Okay.
Because it kind of leaked a new Crash game. Up to a point, like when I saw this, like this is weird. I didn't think it was it, and then whatever the animal person is that picks him up, it's like, well, even then I was kind of like, but when the character came, I was like, I can see that kind of being maybe a Crash character, maybe in a weird new art style.
Then it got way too weird.
Then it got way too weird, and then I was like, nah, no way.
Even crazy Crash with his jorts won't get this weird.
So that's something we can talk about after we get through all these games. I'm surprised they'll Crash, but we'll get to that. This is one of those games like from the creators aren't like, oh, okay, it all makes sense now.
Yeah, it went from what the fuck to okay.
It's still what the fuck.
It's an odd game to be at a Sony PS5 reveal event, I'll definitely say, but I'm hey.
Well, okay, so here's the thing that makes it a little less weird. Wasn't Octodad a big thing like they were showing off with the PS4?
Was it?
I think Octodad was like a PS4 launch title or close to it. They were showing off a good bit, if I remember correctly.
That's funny. I mean, again, I appreciate Sony and how diverse this show is.
Yeah.
You have weird ass shit like this, and then you have some, yeah. But not a whole lot to say.
Yep.
Weird as fuck. I'm into it.
I'm off for the weirdness.
It's bug snacks.
And then there's this whole crazy shit at the end.
With it runs at you. Okay.
Yep. Next game, we have Demon's Souls. It finally happened.
It finally happened, everybody.
The Demon's Souls remake.
I'm sure people are super excited.
Yep. It took us a little bit. We probably could have caught on sooner. But probably people that caught it immediately from probably just little subtle music stuff like Demon's Souls.
Right. I was like, I was listening. I was like, do I recognize this music? I don't know.
Yeah, because obviously, like a franchise that, old franchise with what you said.
I have to imagine, like me and Jeff obviously have not looked at all on the internet so far. Maybe Jeff saw some, but I have to imagine people are stoked out of their mind. Right? I mean, this looks crazy. This looks huge. It's gonna be interesting though because this is obviously like way more than just like a remaster or like a kind of visual remake like Blue Point has done sometimes before. Like this feels like they're pretty much going to be making a new game. So it's interesting. We're going to see like a Souls-like game not made by From Software, made by Blue Point. I wonder if that's going to lead to any I just wonder how people will feel about the combat mechanics because yes, Souls games look cool, but I think the reason why people love them is the mechanics. So if you make this look amazing but it doesn't play right, people are not going to be happy.
So, pause there real quick, or I guess why we're not done with Demon's Souls. It's definitely going to be interesting and just gives people like them that, especially with Souls games, there are those people that are going to find there's a slight difference in how like one little thing feels, and then it's like, oh, this is worse, and that gives them a scapegoat. That's like, oh, it's Blue Point doing it. I saw a little that was Shadow of the Colossus.
I was about to say, like, I feel like this is a harder project to get right than Shadow of the Colossus.
And Blue Point, when they were hinting about this project forever, that this was pretty much a much bigger undertaking than any of their games. And I think just based off this trailer, I believe it for sure.
Yeah.
Even if we didn't see like actual gameplay.
Yep. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. 'Cause the original Shadow Class is just a lot simpler game, and it controls like shit already. And you're just gonna piss people off less by having changed controls. You know, I don't think people are gonna be as mad about you changing Shadow Class's controls. But if people get in this and it doesn't feel like Demon Souls, you're gonna have some people angry.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Another interesting game to talk about. Let's talk about Deathloop.
Yeah, I thought this is a really good trailer, like style wise, off the chain, man. I mean, it's like Persona 5 levels of like especially the out of gameplay, like the little art things or whatever, which I hope are incorporated a lot. I hope that's not just a trailer thing. Like, I hope we're seeing the crazy like 70s orange and brown and like the crazy like zigzag.
That's the style they use for cutscenes.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope that art style is used in game a lot because it's super cool. It's interesting to see that like it seems like this game is a lot more of like a single player story than we assume it probably was, but there was definitely, it was so ambiguous before that you could have told me it's like this is a multiplayer game where you're like two assassins going at each other, and it might still be. Who knows?
That's kind of what they said in the release trailer, or the announcement trailer. That kind of more than that, and not that this one guy, this whole island or whatever the hell it is hunting him.
Yeah. So what did you think?
I think it looks great. Yeah, the general vibe is great. The story about it is cool. I'm curious to see how the whole looping stuff works in the actual gameplay. And I think they did a good job with this. Setting it up and showing off when they do the gameplay parts, different abilities that you have. We saw the kind of teleporting stuff and force type stuff where you're just pushing people over. Like there's this one scene, it looks like after you kill a guy, you kind of push him to someone and then you push the body out the window.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm just doing, right here, which was really cool. There's a lot of stuff going on, and because of the loop stuff, and I guess from the context of the story, is interesting enough, and that kind of gives in-story context where literally everyone's out to get you.
Yeah.
Because pretty much everyone there is in on the game.
It's very just immediately interesting concept. I do think this is probably one of the least PS5 looking games here.
Yeah,
it looks like something.
Well, this and Ghostwire are the two games that made me think, okay, not all these are PS5 games.
Yeah, this definitely looks like
or PS5 only games.
This definitely looks like it's a PS4 game to me, at least.
But it'll probably run better and all that on PS5, which would be great because by the time both those games are out, we will have our PS5s for sure.
100%.
To get these games. This one didn't have a date or a year on it like Ghostwire did.
Yeah, Ghostwire just had the 2021.
Yeah. As far as I could tell, this one didn't have anything.
Oh, might be even further out potentially.
Yep. So we can get into it. I feel like with a lot of the stuff, there are just people are just really hesitant to give any time frame with COVID and all that kind of stuff. Just
fair.
Yeah. I think that's just part of the reason, like with Sony stuff in particular, like we didn't really get dates, and Sony may not want to give really much unless they feel confident, even if it is just a year or something.
Yeah. This style is so cool. Please let this be those type of things be in the game.
Yep. And then here they show, hey, you're playing as the girl. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. Interested to see what that means exactly.
Yep. Maybe you have a different ability and stuff. Next one. Oh, yeah, baby. Let's go. His story comes to a close. I was wondering, okay, so there's obviously something things like, and just based on the rumors and the way it looks, like, okay, this is either Resident Evil or Silent Hill for sure. But with Resident Evil, I figured it's Resident Evil the whole time because it fit all the rumors to a T, pretty much to a T, and just the way the graphics looks, but you never know.
Yeah.
You never know what this shit is.
So you the one. What do you think?
I think this looks awesome. I'm very curious to see how a lot of other Resident Evil fans take this. Because there are some people that just really don't want to go back to kind of the first person stuff after having the 2 and 3 remakes. For me, I'm like, 7's great. So
variety.
Yeah. 7's great. Let's go back to that kind of style. Let's go back to Ethan. Let's have some fun. And you know, they're obviously doing different types of monsters with the werewolves and all that kind of stuff, which is fun and different.
I mean, what do you think about that kind of tonal shift? Because obviously that's very different than it. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but no Resident Evil game has had like this kind of almost Victorian, like, you know, like werewolves and stuff, supernatural things like that. Hasn't it? It's normally like more sci-fi experiments gone wrong type things, isn't it?
General stuff, not necessarily the Victorian stuff, but just kind of the general vibe of this, from a horror standpoint, it kind of fits more with 7. I mean, the setting is completely different. That actually gives a kind of different vibe, but general stuff, it kind of fits more with 7 than the other.
A lot of this, it almost looks like it's taking place in the 1800s. I know it's not, but it's just like, I wonder what is where are we? Why are we here? Why is everyone wearing like old timey clothes and stuff like that? You know. Like this, like these Southern Belle people, like, you know what's going on.
Probably just a couple crazy people in charge.
It's immediately kind of like, I dig the setting and vibe of this more than 7, I think. Just I mean, as someone who hasn't played 7, just saw trailers, but more interested in this one. But it's definitely going to be kind of controversial, I think.
Again, I'm curious to see what people...
Because also it just feels like a lot Resident Evil fans complain a lot. It just feels like.
Chris, let's go, baby.
Do you know who that is that he's shooting? Are we supposed to know?
I think this is a random enemy.
Okay. Or, I mean, the guy like reacted like, wow, how could you? Or something. So I thought that was maybe someone we knew. Because Ethan like freaks the fuck out as soon as he shoots that person. So... I thought I don't know any of these. I didn't even know that was Chris. So like I needed you to react for me to even know that. So I just assumed that might have been someone we knew.
The way the Resident Evil graphics change, it can be hard if it's not a major character to know. Like even then, it's like it's not like it's easy to assume that was Chris. This kind of, and then obviously he said it was Chris. Like it's obviously Chris.
They need to say, hey, it's Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the graphics and styles and always change. And Chris is a very generic design, just in any of them. So there's an art style change. You know, there's nothing particularly unless they do a kind of goofy old school outfit for him. That's obviously Chris.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you are excited.
Yes.
And I really want to hear Jacob's opinion on this.
Yeah, it's nice to again. It falls in place with all the rumors, but now we actually got to see what that all means.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see Hubert reactions as well.
Oh yeah,
to a lot of this stuff.
Oh yeah,
this is good for Hubert. Good for everyone. Yep, this is Pragmata coming out in 2022. Everyone's afraid to talk about any dates for the most part. This one's like, hey, this is coming out in 2 years. Get over it.
Yeah, this one didn't do it. This one didn't stand out that much to me. I mean, some crazy things going on, but you know. When you have
just another dad game,
just another dad robot kid cat
game that really wants to be anime.
Straight up, that's like the eye from the Final Fantasy VII trailer.
Yeah.
The green eye
really wants to be anime, but doesn't want to take the final steps to get there.
So yeah, if you just put all these things on a piece of paper and just talked about what happened, it's like, okay, well, surely this is an anime game.
Yeah. Like you could have told me this is a Kojima game.
Oh yeah. There's some Kojima iconography going on.
Really cool. I am interested. Obviously, this is 2 years away, so it makes sense why we just got a CG thing as far as all that's like, hey, here's this thing. Okay.
Yeah.
You stay in your mind.
I will probably need to be resold on this because I'm going to forget that this game exists.
Yeah.
I can promise you.
Just like we remember Ghostwire and Deathloop just because they were two very interesting things in
striking trailers.
Well, that and just in a conference that had nothing else interesting.
Yeah.
Well, this is a trailer that was kind of interesting. It's not as striking to me as those two original trailers. In a conference that has a whole bunch of shit that we're like, we kind of are very interested / straight up just gonna buy.
Yeah, I'll be honest. This trailer does not like. I'm gonna forget that this trailer happened. Whenever we talk about this show again, I mean,
yeah.
Not trying to shit on it. It's just the truth.
And then finally, the last game of the show makes sense that it's the last game. Horizon Forbidden West. No Horizon 2. Sorry, Darby. Horizon 2 didn't show up, so I'm sorry for the best.
I mean, I knew there wasn't going to be a 2 in that thing. Just what else the fuck would we call it?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm not that stingy.
Obviously, beautiful. Fucking beautiful. I want to rewatch this and see if I can tell, like, was any of this in game? Did any of this feel like, like there was not straight up like this is gameplay, but there were sometimes when she was writing, I was like, have we left cinematic for a second here? Like
yeah, I feel you. There were definitely a couple of those moments. So the fact that they're like actual animals here spoil anything?
I mean, not really. I mean, there are spoilers. I mean, there are certain things that watching this trailer you'll kind of be like, okay, well, I won't say a lot of things, but
just curious. So, well, okay, so I gotta play. I gotta play this game now. I mean, I knew I was going to.
Yeah, you gotta play the original game. Yeah. This is not going to be a game that you can just jump into Horizon 2. You're going to be pretty lost.
No. Yeah. Well, apparently I figured this was going to be announced in the launch title. I was like, okay, there's my window. I got to finish Horizon by then.
Yeah.
Got to play and finish it by then. But it looks like
we don't know. Yeah, we don't know.
I think it's safe to say this isn't a launch title, or they would have said so. Or at least put holiday 2020.
Highly doubt that's going to be. And later they say, oh yeah, it's coming out in 5 months. Like, I really doubt that.
Yeah,
stuff like this. Like, is that an in-game shot? Or are we still in cinematic mode here? It's like, I don't know. That animation looks
I think it might potentially be in-game, but obviously they just use some fancy camera work, maybe.
Right, yeah.
Potentially. I don't know. Maybe that thing's a little too long and just everything. Like, and it's just going into the underwater thing. Like, that looks like it'd be gameplay, for sure. A little bit.
Maybe. I mean, this looks pretty cinematic to me, but I mean, it might all
be
for a second, it might all be in in-game engine. I mean,
it's generally all cinematic for sure.
This was definitely a little like I'm kind of I'm sure you feel the same way. I'm kind of surprised to walk away from a Horizon reveal in this with no window or anything. Like,
for sure,
I thought this was definitely the clearest one to be the soonest.
Let me put it this way: I did not expect us coming out of this with Spider-Man game being the launch title and not Horizon.
Yeah, look at this shit. It's crazy. The just visual world design of Horizon is so cool, so unique.
Is that actor's name? Because that's an actor I've seen in a million things, but I'm bad with actor names.
Yeah. It looks stunning. I was kind of hoping to, after this, to be like, all right, now let's show some gameplay.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that's what they were going to do, especially after we got that with Ratchet.
Yeah. So a little surprised by how first trailer-y this looked, but I mean, there's a good bit in here to be the first show. I would guess that this is coming out spring next year.
I gotta imagine that's probably the plan.
I mean, who knows? Who knows what will end up happening? But that is what I'm guessing is the plan.
I can see. Well, maybe. Honestly, don't know. I don't know how much they want to space out the actual titles they've announced. Because let me try to count real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Kind of like we said, as soon as I saw Miles Morales for launch, I was like, all right, well, this is not going to be a launch game, even if it's pretty much close to being ready to be a launch game.
They announced about 9 or 10 PlayStation Studio games.
Yeah.
Good show in there.
Yeah.
And obviously, they got to spread them out some. So I am curious, I can see potentially. I'm honestly not sure how they're going to do all this stuff because right now they got, like I said, potentially Astrobot, Sackboy, and Ratchet all next year, but that's the cartoony 3D platformer-ish type things potentially. I'm curious how much they'll spread those out.
Yeah.
But at the same time, at least with Sackboy and Astro, you definitely didn't need to show both unless they're both coming within the next calendar year.
Yeah.
I would think, or at least a little
unless
beyond
you
that.
just want to completely blow your load here to be like, look at how many different things are coming, and then pay no attention to the fact you're not getting this for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if something they showed here is not coming for a while, but they all looked decently far along.
Yeah.
It's also just hard to shake. Like, we know the track record, the recent track record of Sony is announcing things and then not releasing them for years. That's the recent track record for Sony. So it's kind of one of those until proven otherwise. I'm going to assume that might be happening with some of these things.
Yeah, but usually with their their really big titles, I mean, like, well, that could be like the Housemarque game, could be like one of the ones that are announced way in advance. Like Project Atheist, probably one that's
100%.
Because it's a Square PlayStation exclusive that has a project name. That's years away.
That's doomed for
again. Like generally, I agree with you, but it feels like with the games they announced and everything, or at least the main ones they were talking about, they don't feel like ones that would be announced way in advance. Normally, Horizon would be, but I don't know. It just might be part of it. We got so much in our mind that it was going to be a launch game.
I think they've been intentionally quiet for the last, honestly, 2 years as far as announcements, because I think they were saving up for the console launch. I mean, that was why 2019 was a very light year as far as Sony messaging, was because they were saving up for this. I mean, those motherfuckers over there knew that they had a Spider-Man game coming out this year and didn't say,
Yep.
I'm glad that didn't leak. I'm glad that was a surprise where it's like, oh, fuck.
so very interesting. There are a couple things that potentially leaked that, or I was curious about how it was going to be, because Jason Schreier said earlier today, I believe, that the next the Insomniac game was not Spider-Man 2, or I can't remember if he said, I don't know if the wording was Spider-Man 2 or a Spider-Man game. So I took it when I originally saw, like, oh, Ratchet and Clank. We're probably getting that in this.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure.
He probably meant it's not Spider-Man 2, it's Spider-Man Miles Morales. So I mean, he might know more about the size of this thing. He might know more about how much.
Since Spider-Man was 2 years ago, I'm going with the whole thing of this is like a $40 kind of.
It has to be. There has to be some lesser quality to it.
Yeah. If the lesser quality is length and hey, Darby, potentially less side stuff.
Yeah. did not enjoy the side stuff very much in Spider-Man, so yeah.
That could be the main thing. I'll be okay with that. It's just, as that's the big thing. They want to go with the console, like, hey, that's enough for me for right now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm lacking stuff to play. They want to, again, if they want to do this and it be the 1.5 to kind of bridge the gap between 1 and 2, that way they don't have to focus half of 2 on Miles Morales becoming Spider-Man or a Spider-Man, I'm okay with that 100%.
Yeah.
Like, again, in a full game where you're playing as Miles Morales and all that, learning to be Spider-Man sounds awesome.
Yes, it 100% does.
I am all for that. So before we get into overall stuff and some other general things, we got to talk about, if you want to continue playing it, the console stuff they showed at the end, like the actual console.
Right. Yeah, I was going away like we're done. I forgot they actually.
They showed a lot here.
They showed the fucking box. They showed the damn box, and it's a wild one, Jeff.
Yep. So yeah, I need confirmation. I need some confirmation on.
I didn't get past it. No. It was after this, right? Yeah. It was. Yeah, they had to do their whole bead reveal. Okay. Again, did they do a wider shot before then? Yeah.
You just want to keep on going until they show the side by side, the regular and the digital edition.
Yeah, I just wanted to get it somewhere where I could leave it and let it go for. Or you want me to skip straight to the digital thing?
I mean, we can and just have that be on the screen.
Okay. Just.
I don't know if we need to have all them just showing the different.
Look at all the angles.
Yeah. I'm happy they actually showed the thing.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. And I'm split. I'm honestly a little more angry than split. Like my emotions are like.
It took me a second to catch what they were doing here, to be honest.
Yeah, I was like, wait, is it a dual box thing or something? Like, what the fuck's going on? Yeah, then you can see the. I'll wait until the things come up. Yeah.
So this is a good. This is the perfect shot for us to discuss what we want to.
Yes. So what are we bitching about, Jeff? What's our big problem here?
So I imagine like a lot of people, we like in the video they show the PlayStation on a stand going straight up. I imagine like a lot of people they have it on the side, and with our setup, imagine a lot of people's setups. It only really works like that because, as we mentioned when we were reacting to the thing, our entertainment center is just big enough for our TV and having a couple things on the side like the VR headset stand and the Switch dock, and then we have a couple little things where we can put our PlayStations and my Xbox in.
Yeah.
If you can't really lay this thing on the side right, you might be able to. We just might be weird.
I really don't think so.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at this thing and like it has a curve. Any sort of curve at all means that you can't do that.
Yeah.
It has to be completely flat or like it's not designed to be that way.
Yeah.
And just looking at this, like the Xbox, I actually think like the Xbox also like its normal design is the tower, but it is like a rectangle. I think
they said you can put it
and
sideways.
they said you can put it on its side. Maybe I'm wrong, but like look at that. I mean, it's a curve. It looks like a PC tower.
No, that's why I was saying this is the best view because the other one was kind of sideways. This is like we're just looking straight on at the console.
I really think, and like I don't want to be like over dramatic, but that is a really big annoyance to me. Like, obviously, it's not going to stop me from buying it, but like this just kind of feels like a flashy style over practicality. And like I talked about, in case you're watching this and you didn't watch our reactions or whatever, I mean, like my biggest thing is cool. Yeah, it looks flashy, and maybe that will be like cool when you're first selling it. Like 3 months into owning the console, we're not going to give a fuck what it looks like. But the fact that we have to completely upend our entertainment center is going to be a lot more of a pressing thing than it looks cool.
Yeah,
and it's just. This just feels like an Apple move. This feels like we're just going to try to be flashy and grabby or whatever, over everything else. And like, because it's not just that consoles always fit that mold. Everything, DVD players, like Roku boxes or Chromecast boxes, all these other things or whatever, like they all like fit into like these cubby holes, and that's what we have in our houses.
Yeah.
Like
besides the Switch, I'm seeing the dock there, but that's a whole different thing.
That's something that you put on there, or whatever. At least like the self-contained things. But the Switch is part of what makes this suck, because the Switch is the thing that's occupying the space that this is going to have to occupy for us.
Well, again, and we're going to have two of them,
right? But the thing is, and like there might be other people that have even worse setups. Like at least we have some space in the top. What if your entertainment center has no space or something like that? You just have some people just have cubby holes in the wall. If you just have that, then what? You have to put this thing on the floor? Like it's just, it would have been, if you made it where like you could even have this vertical thing where it can be vertical, but if you had made the horizontal an option, which I'm just going off the assumption that it's not, if you made the horizontal an option, then at least everyone can still make it work.
Yeah.
Whereas this is going to, like, it's going to be obnoxious for me and you. We're not going to be able to both easily have our consoles on that entertainment.
No, I like putting at least one of ours on the floor.
Which feels like an unforced error.
Yeah.
It didn't really feel necessary to me.
Okay, so.
But that's my rant. I really didn't expect to be mad at the console design. I figured, like, if it looks cool. If it looks boring, whatever. It really doesn't matter. I really didn't expect it to actually kind of make me mad.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. I'm trying to... the PlayStation bot put their blog post, so I'm sorry if I had, like, quiet for a second. I'm just trying to see if there any additional information for anything. I'm at the top where they talked about the PS5. They said, we show up the console. Oh, actually, it is two consoles. We talk about that real quick. There is a digital edition, which I can't remember. That's one thing that's been rumored.
I don't think for PlayStation, maybe, but I haven't heard that. It's always been Xbox is going to have the two
cheaper
versions,
edition.
Which even if they don't have it at launch, it's coming at some point. That thing wouldn't be called Series X if they weren't going to have other things. I mean, but...
So, Darby, prediction, the potential prediction, the one with the disc drive is going to be 500 or 600.
I mean, if a disc drive alone bumps it up to like 100 more, that's kind of crazy. But
potentially,
I don't know.
I don't know what I'm talking about, people. So don't worry about that.
I was thinking more of like one on the left being 500 and one on the right being like 450. Or like the one on the left being $550 and the one on the right being $500 or something like that. I hope it's not $100 just for a disk drive. But I really don't know. I don't know. I'm ignorant. I don't know enough about what.
Yeah. I just feel like the difference between the price has got to be big enough to where it feels like getting the digital edition just is.
There's a reason.
Yeah, to not just to do that instead of just getting the one with the disc drive on it. I feel like at least 100 is the spot.
Maybe.
I want to be wrong.
It'll be interesting.
Oh, well, I at least want to be wrong about the one left being 600, but everyone's talking about how crazy this thing is. So.
Yeah.
And I'm still not convinced Sony doesn't love the smell of its own farts.
Yeah. I mean, developers have said, like, I don't know how the hell this thing is anywhere less than 500 with the components in it. I mean, Sony might be willing to eat a lot of cost, but, obviously at some point they're not going to be willing. It's gonna be an interesting dynamic that it's kind of signs are pointing towards both Xbox and PlayStation are going to have two different versions at launch. From rumors, it feels like Xbox's two different versions might be more drastically different from one another.
Yeah, I just read the thing. They just said the only difference is the disc drive.
Right. It's basically the same console without the disc drive, so it's not as big of a thing. But I do think I feel like Sony's doing this so they have a way of undercutting or at least matching Xbox. If Xbox does have to undercut them in some way, they'll be like, all right, sure, yeah, our disc drive one is more expensive than theirs, but you can get this digital one for cheaper or the same price.
I can see potentially the way this is all going to work out is assuming there's an S and everything. S400, Series X and digital version 500, regular PS5 600.
Wait, sorry, say that again. I'm sorry.
Series S, if it's true and everything, 400. Series X and digital version of PS5 500, regular PS5 600.
Maybe.
Yeah, let's see.
But then, like, what does that mean for the market? For the market, is that effectively like PS5 is $100 more expensive, and that's just kind of what everyone feels like? Or what do you think the sales split will be between these? Do you think what will you do?
Wait, sorry, say that again.
Like, with both of these being on there, do you think considerably more people are going to go for the digital only than the other one, or do you think people will value the disc drive a lot? Because it's interesting to have the split here immediately.
Okay, yeah, I got what you're saying now. It's a very good question. Yeah, as things are going, like the people we follow, like Matt Piscatelli, Daniel Ahmad, and all that stuff, who have access to digital sales, talk about how digital sales are rising, especially for bigger games. When it comes to big AAA stuff, and obviously a lot of the indie stuff is digital only and all that. Like, it's moving towards that being how most people get their games, and even I'm kind of slowly noticing that's how I'm getting more of the games. Partly, I guess, right now it's because of COVID, and I just don't feel like going out.
Yeah,
I'm partly laziness. So if there's like $100 difference, I can definitely see people getting the digital version. Or more people getting the digital version potentially if it's cheaper, because more people are going for that anyway. And I'm even sitting here now, it's like, what do I feel like doing?
I don't know 100% either.
Like, I am going more digital, and since when PlayStation, I'm going to assume PS5's the same way. On PlayStation, you got to download the games anyway. It's not like with the Switch, you don't have to download the games.
Yeah, the only thing with the physical is that
sharing is the only thing that's
sharing, and currently right now there's still a lot of times you can get a better deal physical.
Yeah,
with
at least with like after a game come out.
But even that's starting to die. Like Amazon canceled their thing, Best Buy canceled their gamers thing or whatever. I mean, that's becoming less and less the case too, and it might be a thing that by the end of the PS5's life cycle, physical games are almost like getting physical music, where you're like, no one does that, I mean, that's the direction it's going. I mean, because the physical thing is entirely kind of a made up concept almost. Like, they're all digital anyway. Like you said, you have to download the games anyway. The physical is basically just like an extra step. It's an extra key you have to put in there or whatever. Yeah. But I don't know. It's hard. Obviously, if it's like a $50 jump, then I'll get the disc drive. Obviously, I mean I think it's worth it to have being able to share with people, have the option or whatever like that. But 100 is where I think it starts to get more of a question.
Yeah, I got a feeling if it was 100, I might just end up opting for the disc one, just because odds are over the life of the PS5, I will save more than $100 just by us sharing.
That's what I feel like too. So I mean, chances are I probably would go for it, and I do think $100 would be the max that they would be willing to make that more expensive.
So
I feel like you cannot spend more than $100 more for only a disc drive.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Like 100 is definitely going to be the max difference, and that's just the business side of me talking. Does like I feel like that's the sweet spot as far as not pissing people off, thinking they're ripping off, and people feeling just getting the digital versions is good enough a deal to get that.
Yeah.
Like if they do 50, cool, fine, whatever. But I feel like 100 is the spot.
You're probably right.
Yeah. And also as far as like us getting physical, I'm just looking at the blog post and they're showing like the first thing that's up here, Spider-Man. Like you wouldn't have been able to play my Spider-Man copy.
Yeah, there's
you would
a
have,
lot of
you would have had
examples.
to either wait or shell out the money for it.
Also, I played Jacob's Control.
Yeah.
And I gave Jacob God of War. We've done that a lot, you know, sharing
and
between.
Resident Evil.
And Resident Evil.
And that probably makes you feel bad you didn't pay money for that game. So
Yeah, I'm glad.
So the disc drive's going to be worth it for
It
us.
probably is.
And we're just going to need to be like, okay, we're going to have to pay extra for that, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, well,
we should probably count ourselves fortunate that we got to the next gen and there still is a disc drive.
Yeah. Well, also, I think the way to look at it is if the digital version didn't exist, we'd still be paying the same amount anyway. It's just a cheaper option for people. Instead of thinking we're paying more for the disc drive, is people get the option for less.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
I mean, just to make us feel better about it, mainly.
Yeah. I'd be interested to see currently how much of a difference there is between like the Xbox discless and the Xbox normal. But yeah,
it's hard to tell because that came out so much.
Yeah, I have to imagine it's still cheaper though, because it would make no sense.
Oh, price wise, okay.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I for some reason I was thinking sales. I was like,
Darby,
I don't know. That's a good comparison.
I mean price between those two things.
I'm trying to see if I can. Okay, they're just really talking about general stuff. There is some more information for some of these games, and we can just talk about them on the podcast if there's anything.
Yeah,
I was mainly trying to check and see about Spider-Man. They're saying it kicked off with Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, the next chapter in their acclaimed partnership between the Legendary Studio and Marvel Games. So that doesn't really say anything as far as
next chapter could mean anything.
Yep. So that's what we have.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely we'll talk right now, like kind of briefly about what we think about the entire conference as a whole, but we're going to go a lot more in depth in the there's Lars Gaming podcast that will come out this week. And I think let's talk about what we think about the conference as a whole. Let's talk briefly what we think about what it kind of means for the console race and stuff like that. But let's go deeper into that, the Xbox versus Microsoft type thing in the podcast. Because I think that'll be a better platform for that. We can kind of more zero in on that there. So, surface level, what did you think about this whole thing?
I think it was fan-fucking-tastic. Great games, great looking games for a lot of. Yeah, I just said in the thing like it was 9 PlayStation Studio games, which is a lot. Like, and they were all maybe not Gran Turismo 7. I can never tell with that. I don't know if that was like obviously it was coming, but I don't know if like this first time 7 is actually said to be a thing. Probably it is. I don't know.
I think it's been like leaked and rumored, but I don't know.
So yeah, just all those PlayStation Studio games first announced, which is great, and a lot of these games are like first time shown.
Yeah, a lot of them.
I think
surprises.
I'm just trying to look through this. Godfall and the Bethesda games and NBA 2K are the main ones that I can just kind of scrolling over this. I see that weren't like first announced games. Like Resident Evil and stuff, we knew they were coming. They leaked, but this is the first time being officially announced.
Yeah.
Which is very nice to see.
Yeah, very excited. And I think that from really all angles, I think they nailed this from the, kind of addressing the lack of variety point, for going into a new generation. I think this was an awesome group as far as, you kind of we have shooters, we have super cinematic action games, we have more cartoony games, we have like a dating sim type thing, we have wacky ass weird Octodad things.
Yep.
We have, it was kind of a good mix between everything.
Obligatory sports game?
Yeah, it's obligatory sports game, of course. But and it was like, I don't think, but it didn't strike me as like it's not all AAA either. It had like kind of a good mix between different things.
They actually had what I'm gonna read for you in the blog, like indie section where all the indie they talk about all the games that are technically indie.
Yeah, and I also think that it did a very good job of just visually showing what the PS5 can do. But it also didn't like linger on the masturbatory, like, look at how great we are. It was like, it did what Jim Ryan said at the beginning. We're just going to let the games do the talking. And it was,
you got a lot of games.
It was like game. And that's exactly what I want. And that's exactly, I'll be a lot more excited for your console if you show me the things I'll be playing on it than if you just talk about your console or just show random
that was my main fear going into this, because it hard to kind of read what it was going to be. Like, they kept talking about the games. Like, there's obviously going to be a main focal point, but with it just being over an hour, it's like, okay, how much are you going to actually talk about, like, kind of specs and stuff, which they really did little. So again, Darby, for that bet, I can probably assure whoever got the low probably won.
Yes.
And a fear I had when we got to Ratchet and Clank and they showed that gameplay stuff was, how many games are they going to do this for? Like, I love it that they did it with Ratchet. Don't get me wrong. But I was like, how many are we just going to get maybe a few games and then a smaller number of games with a couple ones that get these kind of gameplay things? Like, what's going to be the balance there? And it turned out to be, we pretty much got like, I think it averages out to like a game every 2 or 3 minutes as far as length and all that. Because I'm looking at this list, I'm not counting them, but I can imagine like 25, 30 games actually show.
Well, I walked away with it pretty satisfied with the amount of gameplay we did see. I felt there was a decent amount of games that we either saw straight gameplay or things that was like, it's obviously kind of gameplay light, like kind of camera away while gameplay is going or whatever. But I mean, Ratchet and Clank it was awesome to see that. Like, I loved that. I loved that. It looks like it was that far along that, all these things.
Yeah, well, even before the straight campaign, but that trailer thing kind of had, gameplay in it.
Trailer was amazing enough on its own, and the gameplay just, and just showing off the PS5. Like, it's cool because it felt like it was almost like tech demo-y showing off the PS5, but they decided to do that within a Ratchet and Clank game that we're actually going to be playing rather than just some BS, which is...
and I really like the pacing of the thing because it kind of started really strong. With obviously
Spider GTA.
Wait, what?
Aside from GTA, but the real stuff.
Once we got to it, but with Spider-Man, Gran Turismo for those fans, obviously, and Ratchet, and then Project Thea, and just kind of showing some bigger stuff. Then starting into, okay, here's some smaller stuff for some of the bigger stuff. I mean, and with everything looking good for what it is, and everything looking interesting, kind of in the middle, and then having Ghostwire, and then just at the end, it's like, okay, here's all the crazy stuff: Hitman 3, Demon's Souls, Deathloop, Resident Evil, Horizon.
Yeah, especially when you read it like that. It's like, that's some big shit.
No, this game line was really great. And I have to look back. This was, I don't know, it might be kind of in the moment thing, but I really don't think so, just looking at this list. Probably one of, not the best, like, Sony thing, at least
it's
the last however many years.
It's up there for sure. I mean, they've had some good ones, but it's definitely up there. And
just as an overall show, may not have those couple, like, holy shit, like,
there's been
dream moments per se, but as a whole, like, it's hard for me to think ones that are overall strong.
It's hard to repeat Final Fantasy VII Remake, Shadow of the Colossus, Shenmue 3, Last Guardian. It's hard.
Shadow of the Colossus was another one. It was just
okay. Yeah, it's hard.
It's a big thing.
All the rest of them, it's hard. It's hard to. But I don't say this in the broy console war way because, like, I hate that shit and you hate that shit, and like it's just one of the worst parts of the gaming industry.
The Space Loft hates that shit.
The Space Loft really hates that shit, so cut it out. I don't say this in that way. I say this as a honestly like analyzing the industry and trying to like see where these two major players in this are going, because I hate the console war allegiance stuff, but I do like analyze, you know, like trying to predict how this is going. This fucking blows that Microsoft event out of the water. Again, in the least like console war way ever. As far as like, you just had two different events very close together when it's like, we're showing gameplay. It's just like, I don't know. This was just, so I'm like, and I'm sure Xbox is going to get there too, but I feel like PlayStation, as far as we're just looking at how people are going to view these two companies and these two boxes, I honestly think they regained a shit ton of ground in a very small amount of time.
Yeah. I don't disagree with you for the public perception standpoint. As far as comparing the two, I mean, obviously I think this was much better than that, just because these were two different things for the
and that was a third party specific event, was the Xbox thing.
Even smaller third parties at that.
But again, to the general public, they're not going to care. Well, technically, they said that was third party, so the general public is like, no, I watched the Xbox thing and I was bored. I watched the Sony thing and I was excited. I'm just telling you, that's what the general public is.
Oh, no, 100%. I think the big thing, that, as far as comparing them, it's going to be hard until Microsoft's first party thing, because this was Sony's first party summer thing. Obviously, with a bunch of third parties in there, and based on what we're seeing, I don't think Microsoft's going to be bringing all those as many big third party deals maybe during the summer.
Yeah,
but and I think that's something we might be able to look at the end and kind of criticize them for as far as comparing them. But as far as the first party stuff, I'm very interested to see how Microsoft responds next month, because Microsoft has been building up, just kind of like we were looking at the stuff like, okay, who's there for Sony? What stuff do they have to show? They did this. When Microsoft, we've been saying, they've been obviously been hyping up, like building up to the next gen. Let's see what in the world they have. Kind of thing.
And this, I mean, when Microsoft does their thing, the whole like vibe and perception of everything might swing right back the other way. But like, it's weird, like console races are like, they remind me a lot of like presidential races, honestly. And like your public opinion and like what you do and when you do matters, even if you communicate everything right or whatever. I mean, the general public just seeing these things and like talking on Twitter comments and stuff, it matters with the public perception of everything. And this feels like the first time Sony's been ahead. You know, this feels like, I promise you there's going to be a lot of snarky like,
oh no, I'm already dreading it.
But like, and I'm just saying that is going to happen. And Xbox definitely has an opportunity to kind of like do that again at the end, but it's weird. Sony's been so quiet for so long, criticized about it, but then they come out and like have like a really good showing. So it's just hard to. I think that's just the vibe they're going for as a company nowadays. Is like silent. Boom, you know, just like there's like all this shit. Now we're gonna go be silent.
And also
again.
from a publicity standpoint for Sony, they got Last of Us 2 reviews tomorrow.
Yes,
and Last of Us coming out next week.
Yeah, they wanted to own this week. So,
well, that wasn't the original plan.
yeah, right.
We were supposed to get those last week.
Own this time frame, but then. That's kind of the interesting thing about no E3, and Sony wasn't going to be at E3 anyway, but like everything being separated is it's kind of like June is going to be Sony's month, and then July is going to be Xbox's month.
Yeah, because rumor is whatever Microsoft was going to have this month has been pushed back to August, which is was apparently going to be very hardware based. Not really the games part of it. That's obviously always going to be next month. So,
yeah, sure. And it'll be kind of interesting because it seems like they're having opposite approaches. Sony kind of added everything to one big show. It kind of seems like
so pretty much they're like
spreading it out.
And this is a very interesting thing of just with E3 being canceled and all that, and Sony wasn't originally going to be there. Sony's the one who gave an actual E3. I mean, this is good by E3 conference, like really good by E3 conference standards, easy.
Yeah, the only thing this was missing was the like orchestra, basically. Like this was like, this could.
We got 70 minutes of pretty much straight game stuff and a little console showing off. I prefer this.
Oh no, I don't even mean missing. I mean like miss it. You know, that's the only difference. Really, is like this is all the meat that would have been in the conference anyway. It's gonna be interesting comparing those two and see which one nets out more positive. I kind of feel like I lean towards the having one big thing as being simpler than having everything spread out. Xbox in the end of the day might have just as many announcements and just as much meat, but the fact that they had third party in May, then nothing in June, and hardware in July, and then like games later, that might end up not feeling as hard hitting as Sony just slap dick on the table. There it is. It's just, I don't know. It'll be interesting.
Have to see. Halo Infinite needs to look good. I mean, we knew that going into this, obviously, but I mean, long before. But yeah, they definitely need that game to look good. We need to have the Halo versus Spider-Man memes. Yeah. No, I take that back. We don't need that. It's gonna be all fanboy nonsense.
But
I don't want it.
Yeah,
it's gonna happen.
Two very, very different games.
I just want a Psychonauts date.
Yeah.
I'm a simple man.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have been streaming for 3 hours and 12 minutes. Hot damn. If you enjoyed this, make sure you go check out the Nerds at Larger Gaming podcast, which posts every Monday. And this one this week should be a good one.
We'll have this and all the Guerrilla Game stuff.
Yeah, because that's coming in just a few days, which is exciting. And hopefully maybe we can get like Jacob on here this weekend. That would be nice because we got a lot.
Just go ahead and ask him when he's free.
Jacob!
Jacob!
Also, we just posted today a cool new first video for a cool series that we're doing called Settle It, where me and Jeff are challenging each other to video game challenges back and forth. It's going to be a good time. It's really weird and it's really dumb, and that's exactly how we like it.
Yep.
So go check that out. Anything else, Jeffrey?
No, not really.
Any last words?
Apparently, the little devil inside is not about that guy being inside his body.
Then I don't want it. If it's not Osmosis Jones, get it out of here.
Get it out of here.
Well, thank you. Till next time.
Whoa, wait a minute.
Oh, halt the presses.
This is
halt the presses.
Okay, this is something that's huge. This is from the Ghostwire Tokyo thing. Action adventure game coming to consoles exclusively for PS5.
That's surprising.
Okay, I need to go. I'll go read through this and post stuff or talk about this stuff on the podcast.
So that one's exclusive, but the Deathloop is not.
It will launch on console exclusively for PS5.
That's odd.
We gotta have a lot of shit to talk about. Okay, bye.
Like, that sucks that like people went a full year probably expecting to play that and everything. Anyway, all right. Bye.
Bye. I'm gonna have to read this thing.